What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on to the Chasers? That's right, Courtney Yeager. What's happening? Your car is in the building. The leader of the Bag Chasers is here. I am here. I am here. The leader of the Bag Chasers is in the building. What's going on to all of my friends and family? What's happening, y'all? How y'all feel today? Let me get a check-in, a mental health check-in on a Tuesday in the chat. How y'all feel today? What's going on, friends? Let me see what y'all talking about before we get started with the show. Yeah. What's happening, Chris, Crown, Lou, Possible, Long Way, Whack on Wood in the building. Connie, what you stressed about? What you stressed about? Look, the sun is out. Staring out here in Miami. The show is on. How am I feeling? I'm feeling cool. I'm feeling cool. I'm chilling. I'm slow motion. Just working. I was acting up last night. I had to bring the old town out. See, I'm trying to change my ways. What up? You from Pontiac? Shout out to Pontiac. I'm trying to change my ways. Y'all know I've been evolving and changing my ways a lot. But sometimes when you get in front of the ladies, they bring out that old you. They bring out the old you. How did y'all feel about the Q show last night? I didn't get a chance to see it because Fresh and Myron, they had me stuck out here in Miami. They said you got to do after hours tonight because I was only gonna do the money part because I did 2 shows yesterday on Fresh and Fit. I was gonna do the money part and then I was gonna come back on Wednesday and then do another 2 live streams, including the after hours with the girls. But I wound up just staying and doing the after hours with the girls because Q said she had it under control. So I'm rocking. I'm rocking. How was the Q show last night? Y'all tell me, because I didn't get a chance to watch the Q show. So I'm going to watch that today because I got to do some chopping and screwing in order to get the clips out. So I need to watch the Q show from last night. I didn't get a chance to watch it. You was looking for me on the Q show? We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. So wait a minute. All right. So let me get some insight before we get started with this show. Y'all had a fake 2K on there. Who was a fake 2K? Show was amazing. Great show with Myron. Show was horrible with an all-female panel. Not going to lie. I have to watch it. 2K's homeboy was on there. Oh, 2K's homeboy was on there. All right. All right. So all right. So let me get a check in the chat. Who watched Fresh and Fit? Who watched me on Fresh and Fit? And who watched me on the Q or who watched the Q show last night on my channel? Who watched Fresh and Fit and then who watched the Q show? Because it was kind of both on at the same time. Unfortunately. So, you kind of got to run two things at the same time. Who watched Fresh and Fit and who watched the Q show? Ended Fresh and Fit with a bang. Half and half watching Fresh Fit for the most part. Fresh and Fit, Fresh and Fit. Try to look at the Q show. Q show, Q show, two tabs. All right, I like that. I like the two tabs. Fresh and Fit, both. Click the Q show for 5 minutes. Fresh and Fit was where it was at. He was tired. Fresh and Fit this morning. Fresh and Fit was a banger. He was watching the old vids on the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. How's the stream today? Is it clear? Because I got some stuff uploading in the background, so I want to make sure that we all clear. Rumble was crazy at the end. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. All clear. All right, cool. Because I got some stuff uploading to the cloud in the background. Q was on. Y'all had the Q fault. Y'all had two tabs open. All right, cool. You fell asleep on the Q show. All right, well, listen. I can only be in one place at one time, but right now I'm scheduled. You see the 11-year-old who died trying to protect his mother. I'll send it to you. Yeah, send it to me. You know what? Let me be honest with y'all. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what my experience was at the Fresh and Fit show. And you know me, I'm always gonna be absolutely honest. First and foremost, cool. All right, so Myron is cool, absolutely cool. Fresh is cool, but let me tell y'all something. Fresh doesn't get the credit that he deserves, and this is why. When I first did the first live stream with him about the money thing, I actually apologized, and even though we chopped it up before I got here and before we actually met and kicked it in person, I apologized to both Myron and Fresh, and let me tell you why I apologized. Because I felt like it was the right thing to do, considering that I never had actually gave him a chance. And I think that this is the problem with the culture. And so I wanted to be the example, right? I wanted to be the example and say, listen, I apologize to y'all face to face in person. And it was unscripted. We didn't talk about it. They didn't ask me for no apologies or anything like that, right? But I apologized in person. And the reason that I did that is because I previously was the thing that I talk about in a negative way. So I chose sides, even though I didn't have to do anything to choose any sides. And I'm talking about back then, right? So back it was Fresh and Fit was beefing with Abba and Preach and all of this stuff. And so instead of just reacting to the content, I chose sides, right? And I largely chose sides because the majority of the people that I rocked with at the time, which I still rock with them today, like O'Shea Duke Jackson, which is still my guy and stuff. He kind of got mad. The lead attorney who I still rock with today, they had a thing against Fresh and Fit, but I never had any negative experiences with them. And so instead of me just remaining in my space and being neutral, I picked a side. But let me also give myself some credit. I didn't stay there. I was objectively like, you know what? That was the wrong thing to do. Instead of me dividing myself against people, instead of me being jumping on the bandwagon and all of that dumb shit, I need to be me and I need to be objective. And I'm going to judge everybody based off of my own personal experience with them instead of judging people based off of how everybody else seen it or all of that type of stuff. So, I had reached out to Myron, and this is a while back, and to his credit, He like, man, yeah, bro, it ain't even nothing. We could just throw that under the, throw that under the bridge or whatever, so on and so forth. Man, I'm glad we chopped it up. I always wanted to have you on the show, but everything had kind of went left in the past and stuff. And so I said, you know what, man, forget all of that. So when I got on the show in front of him in person, I wanted to apologize on camera because the same energy that you give, when you by yourself, you need to, on the reverse, have that same type of energy in person. You need to have that same type of energy in person. And so that's what I did. The same way that I chose a side previously, I needed to absolve from that on camera, and I wasn't just going to let that slide. So I wanted to formally say, yo, you know what? I was wrong about this. And you know what I'm saying? I should have, let it play out for myself as far as my own interaction with y'all. And then we should have went from there. And so my experiences so far with Fresh and Fit and with Myron has been, as far as my own personal experience, it's been great. They good people. They create great content. Whatever your experience is, if you've ever met them or if you've not met them or if you're just judging them based off of their content, then that's your personal experience. My personal experience is they cool people with me. And so if somebody else that I may know have a problem with them, that's them. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got nothing to do with that. For my thing, I'm not on no beef shit. I'm on building. And so if I don't rock with a person, then I just won't rock with them. But I ain't on that beef shit. I'm off that. I ain't on beef, especially with other guys and other content creators. If I don't rock with you, then I just won't, you know what I'm saying, rock with you in general. And that don't have nothing to do with me reacting to content. If I react to content and I actually disagree with something that somebody says from a content creation perspective, that don't have nothing to do with beef. I'm not beefing with nobody. I don't have no beef. I'm not interested in beefing with nobody. So I'm off that. So that's the number one thing. But number two thing is that Fresh don't get the credit that he deserves. If anybody has actually met him in real life, he's probably the nicest person that I've ever kicked it with. He's really cool. He communicates cool. He wants to always look out. Hey man, can I introduce you to this person? Whatever, so on and so forth. I'm not going to talk about the personal conversations that we had, but I will tell you that Fresh is one of the coolest people, and I could see why he's really good at networking. So again, man, my experience with them was great. I'm gonna go back and we're gonna shoot some more content on Wednesday. I was supposed to shoot some shit with Fresh tonight, but I got to do after hours on my own channel, and so I can't miss that. But I'm gonna be back there on Wednesday. We're gonna cook up again, and they good people, bro. They good people. People have disagreements. You're not gonna agree 100% with everything that everybody says. And I get that, but my personal experience with them has been great, and that's all I got. Again, if somebody else got beef for whatever reason, I don't care. I don't want to know about that. I'm about building. I'm about rocking out with people and people that I don't care about. People, because there are a couple people that I don't care about, but I don't talk about them. I don't do live streams on them. I'm not interested in beefing. I'm off that. I'm on a whole nother wave. So yeah, yeah, I'm on a whole nother wave. Even when I said I was going on there, people were like, man, you shouldn't do it. Like y'all act like people act like they actually met somebody before and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it was a good time. It was a good episode. And so hopefully y'all enjoyed the Q show. Hopefully you enjoyed me being on Fresh and Fit and good energy. Good energy, man. I ain't on none of that beef, bro. You said don't give. Yeah, I don't give people that I'm beefing. It's some content creators that's a little smaller that probably should have reached out and been on some cool shit, but they was clout chasing, and so now they reached the ceiling and they ain't got no motion at all. But instead of me giving it any energy so that they can get their views up, I won't give it no energy and I just stay away from them, and they got to figure out for themselves. So I ain't on none of that beef shit. I'm off that beef stuff. I'm about good energy, having good times. Um, and I'll probably repost a clip from Fresh and Fit onto this channel later on tonight. But we got after hours tonight, so that was awesome. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that rock out with me, everybody that add value, and everybody that hold me down. I really do appreciate y'all. All right. We ain't on that beef stuff. That's corny. That's corny. Beef is corny. So I'm gonna let people keep on beefing. I'm gonna let people fight their own shadow in the mirror, and we're gonna go from there. All right. Thank you, Older Product. Thank you to everybody that showed love. Bag Chasers is in the building. Bag Chasers is in the building. Shout out to Kate Cooper. Shout out to all y'all. All right, so I'm gonna read super chats and cash apps, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started with the show because we got six subjects that we want to cook on. Y'all notice how we never miss though, right? Y'all notice how we never miss though, right? Nothing ever stops. Just because I'm on this show, or just because I'm live streaming over there, or just because I'm out of town, nothing changes. Shout out to Mike That Dude says the Fresh and Fit interview was good. Thank you, Mike That Dude. One of the most consistent, loyal people I've ever met in my entire life. Mike That Dude, I truly love you, bro, and I rock out with you. Spencer Campbell says, good morning, AD. Thank you, Spencer Campbell. Thank you for holding me down, Spencer. I love you, bro. I love you. Look like we got enough people in here to get the show started. As soon as it hit over 1,000 people, then we're going to go ahead and get it popping. 392Q says, bisexual girl, you acting like you're God. AD said, basically, I am. I'm the closest thing that they going to get to it. All right, so listen, this is why I say the things that I say. When I say, yo, I'm the closest thing to Jesus that you ever going to interact with. Because we are lacking in our community. We are really lacking in our culture. And I ain't talking about black people. I'm just talking about in America and popular culture in general. We don't have no people that you can really look to as an example and say, yo, they really are living this dope life, or they doing it the right way, or they taking care of business, or he's still standing in masculinity while at the same time he's still maintaining the status or whatever. We don't have no real fathers, like no father figure in popular culture. I'm not saying that people aren't good fathers. There's plenty of good fathers. I know plenty of good fathers. There's a lot of good fathers that watch the show, but we don't have any of them that have a large enough platform to speak to people in truth and tell them, listen, you a hoe and you need to change your ways because in 3 years, your life is going to be over. You're going to catch HIV. You think that this OnlyFans stuff is going to last forever. You already pudgy. You already big. You already expiring them lip fillers you got in there. That's not going to carry you. You got a 2-year window of doing whatever it is that you do. And then you're going to start selling pussy on the streets. That's the honest to God truth. And so if somebody don't tell people in authenticity, not for shock value, not just for entertainment purposes, but because it's the truth, then who will? Because ain't nobody having an honest conversation. Everybody pandering, everybody trying to grow an audience. I don't care nothing about that. My motion is gonna be my motion regardless. So I don't have to lie, I don't have to pander. The only thing that I can do is tell you the truth. And I told him and I said, listen, I'm the closest thing to Jesus in real life, meaning that I'm not necessarily the God, I'm not the Jesus, but I am the closest representative that you're going to have to use as an example of how you need to live your life. I'm the father that you never had. You told me you never had a father. You told me you never had a father in your life. Let me help you to understand what a father was supposed to tell you so that maybe you have an opportunity to get your life together and you can figure it out from there. And if you don't like it, then that's on you. Take it for what it is. But you had a lot of people lie to you and tell you that you're awesome and you're beautiful and you're a queen. I'm going to tell you what the truth is. Right now, you living like a hoe. Your queendom left. You got to start doing things a little bit differently, and you only got 2 to 3 years to figure it out before it's over for you. So I got to tell you the truth. You ain't never seen Jesus in real life. You ain't never seen God. You can't touch him. And so the closest thing that you're going to get to it is this fatherly figure advice that I'm going to give you. That's all you got. That's all. I'm all you got. I'm your last hope. So that's how I tell them. That's how I approach it. People that, sometimes it's at first it's a little abrasive, but after the show, they're gonna come up to you and they're gonna say, you know what, I really appreciate you. Thank you. And then you go from there. Kristen says, daycare crew here. Mom and I watched you on Fresh and Fit. Is it worth my mom staying in a hair property if the siblings are not cooperative? She's in North Carolina and has no mortgage. She pays everything. She got no mortgage. Is it worth my mom staying in a hair property if the siblings are not cooperative? Yes, you don't want to increase the expenses. If she don't have no mortgage, what is her expenses? Because you said that she pays everything. So what else does she pay? But if it's really a cost benefit analysis. And so you got to figure out what's the cost of her actually moving and then taking on more expenses, or is her expenses low enough for you to justify her actually staying there? And if the expenses is low enough, then it's not about equalization, it's about what's best for you. All right. Chris Cunningham says that Fresh and Fit was funny. The Indian girl had no clue how life works and no accountability. I don't know who that is, Mike Baggs. Craig G says it was a Fresh and Fit derailment show last night. Facts. What the hell says made them girls cry? Mike Baggs says you cooked yesterday about the Christianity and how they think they have low standards. That's a fact. Rob B says 80, welcome to Miami. You cook big time on Fresh and Fit. Held your own against those Wildcat chicks. Felt proud watching you. Y'all act like y'all be new to this. Like I just got into this. Y'all should be expecting for me to be great. Chris Park says, can you give us a few examples of how AI will replace software engineers? Will the job itself be totally replaced or just altered so that those that know how to use AI with coding, it's not going to completely replace software engineers, but you're not going to need as many of them because you'll have more software engineers that are more efficient at what they do. So it's not about whether or not software engineering itself is going to go away. Software engineering will never go away. But it's just like the line. It's like the assembly line, right? When Ford Motor Company first created the assembly line, they needed every single employee. One was turning a bolt, one was putting on the tire. Now you have people still on the assembly line, but you have robotics assisting them. And so they're working side by side. And so you have to be more educated. You have to be more fluid. You need more engineering. You need more people that understand robotics, right? And so AI is not going to completely, in my opinion, replace software engineers, especially within the next 10 to 15 years. But what it will do is it'll make them more efficient. So you got to up your skill set and it'll allow for them to be able to do the work of more than one. So you don't need as many or you don't have as much of a shortage. It's there to assist you. It's not necessarily there to replace you as an engineer. So I don't think that engineering jobs are going away. I believe that the culture of what an engineering job looks like is going to change. Mike Donaldson says you cooked so hard on Fresh and Fit last night. Shout out to Mike Donaldson. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that pulled up. Bag Chasers was in the building. The Chasers was in the building. All right. All right. Chasers was in the building. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all to everybody that support the platform. Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, man. We got Stock Club coming up this week, so it's gonna be absolutely fun. It's gonna be exciting. In Texas, Texas is starting to look a lot like Florida to me. Texas was starting to look a lot like Florida to me, in my personal opinion, because Florida used to be the place where you would see all of the craziness happen. It seemed like every wild situation, it used to be in Florida. Now, I don't know if it was a whole lot of people down there in Florida that moved over to Texas, or if all of the crazies in California moved over to Texas, but I'm starting to get a lot of stories. I'm starting to get a lot of stories about crazy things that is happening in Texas. Example number one, shooting out in Texas where a gunman killed 3 people in a Target parking lot. Check it out.
The suspect is armed and has shot multiple people. This morning, a Target store in Austin, Texas is now a crime scene after a gunman opened fire in the parking lot Monday, killing multiple people. The suspect is a white or Asian male wearing a Hawaiian shirt, khaki shorts with a quick draw fanny pack. He is armed with a firearm. Police say officers arrived within minutes, but 2 people, including a child, were already dead. A third victim died later at a local hospital. The suspected shooter escaped.
The suspect fled the scene, stole a car from the scene, took that car, wrecked that car, then hijacked another car.
Police believe the first stolen car belonged to one of the victims. The suspect, who has not yet been publicly identified, made it to South Austin, where authorities say they had to tase the man before taking him into custody.
We have a male white suspect who appears to be 32 years of age, does have a mental health history.
Corrina Nate.
I don't believe that. I'm not going along with that. I'm never going to err on the side of mental health anymore. I'm done with that. I'm never going to err on the side of mental health anymore. I'm done with that. No more mental health excuses for me. No more mental health excuses for me. I am not erring on the side of mental health. That's over for me. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put a title on this. Because I didn't even put a title on this show today. Trump threatens to end Nobel. Chat. GPT5. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. Let me make sure that I put this up. Chat GPT. And that. All right. Why is this let me edit this. Give me a second. All right, there we go. But yeah, I'm no longer going with the whole mental health thing. I'm not rocking out with that anymore because I don't, back in the day we used to just say, yo, the person was out of his mind, or you know what I'm saying, they was crazy, or they crashed out, or they did this or they did that. Yo, every single time that somebody does something that they're not supposed to do, every single time that somebody kills somebody that they're not supposed to kill, every single time somebody do a shooting in a parking lot or whatever, it's always a mental health issue. It's a mental illness. No, it's not. No, it's not. You just evil. You just ugly. You didn't have any regard for people or human life, or you didn't want to do what you were supposed to do in your life. And so now that's what you start to see. You start to see people crashing out and not doing what they supposed to do. And so you just purely evil. You got the devil in you. That's what my grandma used to say. Yo, you got the devil in you. And you decided that you didn't have no regard for your own life. And so you wanted to take other people with you. What I also don't understand is, how do these people keep surviving? Yo, they chased them all the way to Austin and they just tased him. What you mean? How? How? How do you shoot people? How do you shoot 3 people and kill 3 people in the parking lot at a Target in Texas, and you live to make it out of that type of situation? I don't understand, bro. I don't. I really don't understand, man. Like you should expect to die if you go and kill 3 people and you got to get on a police chase. I don't even understand how you got out of that one. I don't even know why we doing a trial. We always say people need closure, or they got to do this or they got to do that. No, you don't. No, we don't. We don't need no closure. If y'all looking to understand why they did it, you're not going to get no extra understanding. You want to see justice served. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. I want to see justice served. There wasn't no mass stabbing in Detroit. That was in Traverse City. It was in Michigan City. And it was at a Walmart that was 4.5 hours away from Detroit. Stop thinking that everything that happens in Michigan is in Detroit. Michigan is a huge state. It is a massive state. All right. It's not one city. Michigan is a huge state. The stabbing happened in Traverse City. It wasn't in Detroit. It wasn't even close to Detroit. It was in Upper Michigan. So I need y'all to stop acting like one city is the entire state. Houston is not just Texas. Detroit is not just Michigan. Miami is not just Florida. There's a mass. It's a big state. Millions and tens of millions of people. All right. So maybe you should do a little bit of research before you say, talk about the mass stabbing in Detroit. It wasn't no mass stabbing in Detroit. Stop, you fake news. You're fake news, buddy. You're fake news. Let's continue, bro.
Vahar works across the street from the strip mall and was grabbing lunch at the same shopping center when she noticed a swarm of police.
I think one of the ladies that was there next to me said that she heard about 5 shots, and then that's when she called the police.
Shoppers and workers inside the Target describing the chaotic moment when the shots were fired and police rushed in.
I hear on the radio, shots fired. I kind of just froze at first, but then, I saw everyone running.
Target saying in a statement, in the days ahead, we will continue partnering with law enforcement and will be providing support resources, including grief counseling, to our team. On social media, the mayor of Austin calling it a devastating situation and a sickening, cowardly act of gun violence. And police have not yet released the identities of the victims. As for the shoppers who were here yesterday, police have now cleared this crime scene, so they are allowed to come back and pick up their vehicles. No word on when the Target will reopen.
Wait a minute. So y'all couldn't even get your cars in Target? Y'all couldn't even get your cars because it was a crime scene and all of that type of stuff? So they said you can't even come get your car. You got to wait till tomorrow to come and get your car. That's crazy.
Let's get to some other breaking news right now, this time out of Texas, where we have learned in literally the last maybe 3 minutes that 3 people are now dead, shot and killed at the parking lot of this Target store in Austin. Officials have just wrapped up an update, and that is what we've learned. We initially thought 2 people had been killed. That number is now 3. We're learning a bit more about the suspect as well, who I believe is now in custody. Aaron Gilchrist will check me on that as he's covering this one for us. Do we know anything else about this suspected attacker, about a motive, et cetera?
So, Hallie, at this point, nothing about a motive, but a wild scene played out in Austin just a little while ago. As you said, this news conference with the police department there just wrapped up in the last couple of minutes here, and we've been able to learn a few details about how this all unfolded. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a little after that, local time in Austin, Texas, when police say someone with a gun went into the parking lot at this Target store and started shooting. We know that there were at least 3 people who were shot and killed in this incident. Apparently, the suspect here then jumped into a car and took off from the scene there in Austin outside this Target store. At some point, wrecked the car that he had taken and then went into a car dealership and took one of the cars from the dealership and was eventually caught by police in Austin. As you said, there is a 32-year-old white male suspect who is in custody right now. Police say that there were 2 people who died on the scene there. One person, according to the fire department, was taken to a nearby hospital and was pronounced dead at the hospital as well. At this point, we don't know about the motive. That is really, Hallie, the outstanding question right now. Police say that the suspect they have in custody is someone they know, someone who has had some interaction with law enforcement in the past, someone who does have a history of mental health issues as well. They're still trying to figure out exactly, though, what led up to this. Police said they don't know if there had been some sort of a confrontation, some sort of conflict in that parking lot, but they're trying to figure that out now and come up with what led to this shooting, Hallie.
Aaron Gilchrist, much to follow on that front. We'll check back in with you.
Yeah, I'm just not going for it anymore. Like I said, I don't believe that people have the type of mental health issues that we try to make it out to be. You're not crazy, you don't have schizophrenia, you don't have ADHD. You didn't get enough whoopings when you were coming up as a child. And that's why you felt like you can go and kill people and you could do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. Honestly, I genuinely believe that. I know that I joke a lot and I pull off the belt. And I know that I always talk about what people need to do differently and all of that. But I genuinely believe that people were not disciplined the way they were supposed to be disciplined when they were younger. And that is the reason why you see a lot of this type of stuff happening in the culture. Real talk. You start to deal with people accordingly. I don't think that you have these type of crash outs. Oh, he got mental health issues. No, you don't. Oh, I got PTSD. Oh, I'm crazy. No, you don't. It's a lot of women. Oh my God, I got childhood trauma. No, you gave it up and you busted down too early for a real one. And now you want to try to act like you a victim. I could fix that. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Sometimes you even got to let people go through a couple things. Sometimes you got to let people suffer so that you can then be able to talk to them, because they can't hear you when they winning. They can't hear you when they think that they doing good. It's not till you show them, or God humbles them or shows them, hey, listen, you're going to have to go ahead and show. I was like that. That's why I said that going broke. I said this on Fresh and Fit yesterday. I said going broke was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it put me in this grind mode. It gave me the dedication. It forced me to sit with myself. It helped me to start seeing things differently. I was able to get some stuff out of my system. It's the whole thing. Like, it was a blessing. And so I was able to listen to God, because I ain't have no other choice. I ain't have nowhere else to turn to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had exhausted every option that I had, so I had to move God's way instead of doing it on my own. And that's how I started to come up. But that's just me personally. Some people, their heart is so hardened that they'll never be able to listen. And so that's why they continue to go into this dark mode, this tailspin that's not going to benefit them. But that's just my own personal observation. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to go from there. Remember, After Hours is tonight on After Hours with Anton Daniels. So make sure y'all subscribe to that. It seems like there's a shooting every day. Oh, man, people get killed every day, B. We just don't publicize it. I try to cover stuff on the local level, but we just don't publicize it as much. V. Nicole, shout out to my RN friends in the building. I appreciate you. V. Nicole says, I really enjoyed you on Fresh and Fit, friend. You were also looking so handsome. Nurses love AD. Nurses love AD. You were making the girl next to you think for sure she was definitely listening and observing what you were saying. Shout out to DJ Sky. That's her. I'm different in person. Y'all got to meet me. You have to meet me in real life in order to really understand it. You got to come and kick it with me in real life. Unfortunately for her, her man was there. So, he had to watch that. Listen, bro, I don't care what your previous profession was. If you was an Olympic sprinter, all of that stuff. I think she said that her man was like a former U.S. Olympian or a U.S. Olympian, something like that. You got to watch that. You got to let your girl sit next to me. And if she an entertainer, she got to sit next to me and she got to experience me for 3 hours, nigga. You gonna let your girl sit next to me for 3 hours and think that she gonna come back the same? She got a different mentality now. It's a different mentality. Even if she don't show it to you, she different. She different. Because now I planted seeds in her head, and then you had to sit next to me. You had to look at me. All of this chocolate. You got to look at all of this chocolate. And then she, you know, and then afterwards, oh my God, hey, listen, I want to take a picture with you. Can I take a picture with you? She going to give you the camera and tell you, hey, babe, can you take a picture of us? Both ways, landscape and portrait. All right. How many you want? Just take a bunch of them. Okay. All right. Then they're going to whisper in your ear. They're going to whisper in your ear. I'm not insinuating anything, but I'm going to just tell you, they're going to whisper in your ear. You got a wife? You got to listen. You got to stand next to this. My skin is smoother in person than it is right here. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first, 40% off your purchase, your first purchase, 20% off of life. Get you some Tiege. Look at all. You see this? See all this chocolate? That's all chocolate. That's all me. That's all chocolate. See this skin? It's all chocolate. It's going to be different in person. I smell good. I smell so good. I smell so good. You said you seen her whisper in my ear a few times. Shh. Shh. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about that right now. I'm still on tour. City to city. I'm going to be in a different city the next time that you see me. All right. Pores is clear. It's because I'm in a good space, son dear. I'm in a different space, son dear. You know. AD put us on a cologne that you use. I don't use no cologne. No cologne, soap, water, lotion. I smell clean. I don't smell like one of them guys that put all of that. It's all cleanliness. Breath good, minty, teeth pretty. You know. Breath smell good. Soap, water. I smell clean. It's soap, water, lotion. Soap, water, lotion. And Tiege. Tiege, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. No cologne, no none of that. Y'all douse yourself. Clothes be dirty. Nope. Clothes is iron. They said, so where Rita at? Minding her business and a good space. Minding her business. That's what she doing. Put up, taken care of, set aside, out the way, not on the internet, not talking to y'all. Where your girl? She fine. She doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She playing her position, shopping. What y'all niggas? Why do y'all ask that question? Like, what do you want to know for? Huh? Taken care of. That's where she at. Not worried about what I got going on. Not worried about what I got going. That's what she doing. She doing what she's supposed to do. She doing what I told her to do. That's what she doing. Now, when y'all get some control over your chick, then that's when you come talk to me. Now, the question is, why is your girl asking to take a picture with me? Huh? Huh? Where y'all's at? Now come to talk to me. Okay. Don't worry about what's happening over here. We got that. We got this. This is all taken care of over here. Everything is fine. Why you over there with them girls? Because that's mind your business. Mind your business. You don't see my girl on the internet talking about, I don't like it. Boy, my girl don't act like finesse 2 times mama. You don't see that. When you see the crash out online, then come and talk to me. Until then, for the last 21 years, you don't see nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't see nothing. That's all you thinking. You don't hear nothing. You don't see nothing. Now you tell your girl to go shut up and get in the corner and stop arguing with grown men. All right. I see yours too much. She doing too much. Keep throwing ass on Instagram. I'm gonna send her a flight. We're gonna create some content, some for offline, some for online. All right. All right. All right. Y'all ready to continue on? All right, let's get on with the show. It's gonna be a good after hours tonight. It's gonna be a good after hours tonight. Women that's put up, they don't talk. They don't have all of that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl V. Yeah, V, we doing what we do. AD on Fresh and Fit was fire. Glad it finally happened. Shout out to them, Just King. Sorry, says morning AD. You cooked last night on Fresh and Fit as a father of 2 grown daughters. They need to know the real. Appreciate you, bro. I'm saving. I'm gonna save these hoes one live stream at a time. Mr. Lot in the building says, I saw you straight dunking on OF chicks. You make telling the real look easy, bro. It's not. It's hard. It's hard out here. Mr. Lot, I appreciate you for supporting the platform and always being one of the #1 bag chasers. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot. Shantae Jackson says, hi, AD recently joined the Patreon looking to change careers. Pivot be in a better financial situation. I needed advice. We'll follow up with an email. Okay, Shantae. All right, Shantae, come on at me. We gonna kick it. I like that profile picture of you, Shantae. I like me and you in that profile picture, Shantae. You looking good. You was looking good. I like that. It was good vibes, good energy, you know, good pictures. Me and you together. And I like your ladies, if y'all ever took a picture with me at any event or you see me in the streets and we flick it up, y'all need to change our profile picture to me and you. I want that profile picture to say me, and you, your mama and your cousin Sue, rolling on the strip on Vogues, pulling up, slamming Cadillac doors. Ladies, if you have ever taken a picture with me in person or you ever kicked it with me in person, I want y'all to change y'all profile pictures to Anton from Anton Daniels. Me and you. Yo mama and your cousin too. Change your profile picture. Me and you. I want y'all profile pictures to say me and you. I need them to know who you associated with. Because you need to let them know, listen, I'm not no regular chick. I'm with Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I need you to change your profile pictures and say, I'm not regular. I'm not regular. If you have ever taken a picture with me in person, if you've ever chilled with me, if you've ever kicked it with me, and we flicked it up, I want you to change your profile picture and tell them, I'm not regular. Do you see who in the picture with me? You got standards that you got to meet. And when they see me and you in the profile pic, then they gonna know, oh, I got to come correct. Oh, it's different over there. Oh, that's one of the bag chaser ladies. All right. You know what I'm saying, Cree? You know what I'm saying, Cree? You're not regular. You're not regular. You're not a regular chick. Come and kick it with me. Come and kick it with me. Stand next to me. Let me talk to you for a second. Change your life. All right. Y'all ready to get on to the next? I wouldn't mind a tattoo. I wouldn't mind a tattoo of you with me on you. I wouldn't mind a tattoo. I'm not going to stop you. If you say you want to get a tattoo, I'm not going to stop you. Show it to me. Show it to me. Show me the tattoo. Email me. Ask me where I want you to have it. DM me. Don't email me. DM me. Anton, where you want me to get that AD at. I want a tattoo. I want to see your tattoo. I want to see your tattoo. That's the next step. That's the next step. If you've ever had a good experience with me in person, I want to see your tattoo. Now, fellas, don't put me on the arm, fellas. Put me on. I want to see my poster on your wall, big dog. I want to see my poster on your wall. I want to see my poster on your wall. I want to see. It's the Millionaire Derailment Show. I want to see my poster on your wall. Yes, I do. You know what? I was going to say, no, don't do it. Yes, do it. Yes, see. Yes. Yes, absolutely. ABJ's wives don't do that. Don't have so much pride. I want to see the poster. Aaliyah, me and you got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? Go ahead and get started with the show. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Miss is amazing. Don't do that. Don't do that, Miss Amazing. If you get divorced, I want to see my initials on you. I want to see my initials on you. Make them jealous. Put it on a tramp stamp. Or right under your titty. Right under the titty. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on with the show. I'm gonna read. Oh, let me read the rest of these super chats. Shout out to Shantae. I like that picture, baby. Chris Cunningham says, get that Tiege pack. Facts. Eric Wolf Harris says, I choose you to tour live in Miami. We here. David Miller says, how does it feel to be rich and never have to worry about anything? Who told you I ain't never had to worry about anything? I got plenty of things that I'm concerned about. I don't think about the money no more, though. Blessings, Brother Daniels. What's up, Deetris? Shadow Dragon TV said, AD said, we know you for the streets. Great show. Eric Wolf Harris says, 4 letters. My girl can't mention CB and AD. I'm here. Purple Haze says, AD out here getting women. No. These are my girls. My girl. Talking about my girl. My girl. No, Aaliyah. No. I want that. I want AD. I want AD, not AB. Let me check my DMs. Checking my DMs right after the show, Aaliyah. All right, y'all. Let's continue on with the show. I don't need to be getting derailed. I need to stay focused. Stay focused, my brothers. A former UPS carrier is pleading guilty to stealing cash and checks. I only want to spend 10 minutes on this, honestly. And so if I go over 10 minutes, then hold me accountable. But this is what's happening over there in Los Angeles.
New tonight at 5, a former postal carrier pleads guilty, accused of stealing checks and credit cards out of the mail.
KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. Mike, she is accused of just living a lavish lifestyle off the stolen funds.
Yeah, and then flaunting it all over Instagram, according to federal investigators who have now secured a guilty plea from this woman who worked at the Torrance post office. We'll show you some of the photos that they've released through court documents. This is just one of the checks she is alleged to have stolen, a $45,000 check. This happened over the course between 2022 and 2025 when they say that she would steal checks and credit cards out of the mail, then brag about it on social media. There you
How many times do we got to have this conversation with y'all? And again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that y'all out here telling on yourself. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that you out here telling on yourself. But how many times do we have to have this conversation? Huh? I can always tell the difference between people that got it the right way and don't got. Like if somebody just pop up on your feed and they doing the money phone, they came out of nowhere. You knew they've been poor their whole life. They whole life they've been poor, and then all of a sudden they just show up. Yeah, I don't hear nobody. I don't see nobody because we talking on the money phone. I don't hear nobody and I don't see nobody because you ain't got enough money to talk to me. When you just see people pop up and they just got a regular job, they just got a regular job, they just nothing, somehow, some way they just came up and they just started doing like this on the gram. They just start doing like this. Spreading it out. I'm fanning myself. I'm a fan of myself. And they haven't told you, you don't know where they work. They just got a regular job. It's like, what do you think is gonna happen, bro? Let me also educate y'all a little bit. I don't know if y'all know, but the police, investigators, they all watch Instagram, they're on social media, they're paying attention to what's happening. And guess what? They know where you work. And they know whether or not you're actually bringing in 1099s to generate the revenue that you're posting and you're flaunting. So for all of my dope boys, because I know that y'all haven't used to fully gotten into what you're supposed to do. I was told that if you get money like the dope boys, if you get money, and you don't have no source of income, but the only thing that you do is sell dope, that you kind of stay low. You just stay low. You don't go on the internet. If you do a crime, you don't go and show guns, because that then puts a target and a bullseye on your back for the investigators. Now, if you got it legally and you just want to go and show off your car, whatever, okay, cool. Go and talk your talk, get your money, king. I'm with it. Y'all stealing from the post office, bro, that is no shortage of at least. That's got to be at least, because the blue faces is at the bottom. That's got to be at least 30K. It's probably at least 30K that they got in their hand. Okay, so you then work at the post office. My first inclination is to think, oh man, this person is stealing. This person is I had a homeboy. Tell me if y'all have heard this one. Tell me if you've heard this one. I had a homeboy that worked at UPS throwing boxes overnight. Nigga started showing up with rings. One of them looked like a wedding ring. I said, bro, why you got a wedding ring on your pinky? Oh, I said, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. You got about 7 business days before you get to work and then them boys come and pick you up. You got 7 business days. What you don't think that they know that the ring that was supposed to be shipped in the small box that you're unloading overnight, you don't think that they are aware that you are taking rings, that it's always a ring missing every night at your loading station, at your dock? You're not aware of that? You don't think that somebody was expecting that $42,000 check that this person just so happens to steal that went into their bank account? I had a homeboy way back in the day, back when I was like 20. I had to be 20. And I think I told y'all this like a few years ago. And I had a homeboy had to be like 20 years old. Yo, AD, man. You know a bunch of girls, right? I said, yeah, I know some girls. What's going on? Hey, you think they deposit a check? Deposit a check where? I got a couple checks I want to deposit. I give you 25%, and then you can give her 25%. And you know what I'm saying? I keep the other half. I said, let me see the check. Look at the check. You know there's not your name on it, right? Yeah, I know. But they just deposit it, get the money out, and I give you half. I said, so you want me to go and get a girl that I know to go and deposit money into her account. So what happens if the check get flagged? We gone. We gone. Nigga, if you don't get on out of my face, you trying to get us all jammed up. I'm gonna be a YouTube star, and I'm trying to get into corporate America at some point after I get fired from my job. My future self told my current self, that's not gonna work out for you. Homeboy owned the barbershop. Don't got no employees. It was just him by himself at the barbershop. Yo, AD, check that out out there. I said, oh, snaps. Okay, I see you stunned hard on him. What you want? You hit the lottery? What's going on? Oh, nigga, I could put you on. Put me on what? You know, they got the Paycheck Protection Program, the unemployment insurance. Biden giving out free money. I said, nigga, if you don't, I'm out. I'm gone. Hey, man, I don't want to know no more. I started looking around like that. I wonder if they got somebody watching you, nigga. What's going on? Man, if you don't get on out of my face, you a dummy. You a dummy. What, you not trying to get on? You got business? I said, I'm good, bro. I'm going to just do my regular business. I'm going to rock out with my regular people. Everybody getting their paycheck. Ain't nobody complaining. I don't want no parts of what y'all got going on. Next thing you know, niggas start getting the metal handcuffs. Excuse me, sir. Please turn around and put your hands behind your back. I ain't got no time for that. I don't have no time for that. I ain't got no time for that. Now imagine me getting on here and telling y'all and giving y'all money advice, but I did a PPP loan fraud. I got enough problems just trying to fend off the IRS as they are. Anton, we want to do an audit. Oh, shit. Hey, get the paperwork to call the lawyers so we can make sure that we got all of our books together. I got enough problems as it is, trying to make sure that them alphabet boys stay off of my case. I'm trying to stay low. Trying to get low. Nigga. I ain't trying to be a social. Nigga, they already on me. Nigga. I ain't trying to be on. You know how difficult it is, nigga, once you get into a certain tax bracket, nigga. I'm trying to stay off the radar. What you doing, nigga? Get from around me. You don't get gone. You don't get gone. Every time I get a letter in the mail that says, Internal Revenue Service, God damn it. I just set it to the side for 7 business days. I ain't even going to open it for 7 business days. Hey, can you put that over there to the side? Every time I get something that say internal rep, I just set it to the side. Fuck. Messing with you, stealing at the post office, you fool.
See one of the photos from her Instagram account, and she was then caught on several different security cameras buying things using the alleged stolen goods. An Apple store, you saw that, Home Depot, where she was apparently purchasing a rug. All of this obtained by federal investigators, but then a lot of it also obtained from her Instagram account, where she would post things like this, walking out with luxury high-end bags from this local stores. Now, they accuse her of also giving some of the money to some of her co-conspirators, which they allege that then would cash some of the checks. You see the large stacks of money. Again, a lot of these coming from her own social media accounts that investigators were able to seize. They also were able to use some backtracking of data and text messages to get some of the information as well. She did plead guilty to that one count of postal fraud, or of mail fraud rather, bank fraud, I should say. And they're also have her in custody as well. She's been in custody now for the last several months, ever since she was arrested late last year on these charges. Guys?
You know what? I don't think that women fear jail and fear prison the way that men feel prison. I think that y'all see, it's not a big deal. I get it. I figured it out. Now I see why so many women is doing fraud. I figured it out. Because y'all don't fear jail because y'all got girlfriends in there the same way that the guys got boyfriends. But it's not that's why we don't talk about women going to prison, because y'all got girlfriends in there. But it's not it's not villainized and demonized in the same way that we got demonized and we get villainized if we was to go to jail. Because if you give up your bussy, if you give up your boy coochie, then it's, oh my God. But see, if a girl, I heard a girl on a podcast say that she went to jail when she had a girlfriend. She was gay for the stay, and nobody blinked an eye. Nobody blinked an eye. Y'all just went in, y'all go in there and you give up your girl coochie. It ain't the same as giving up your boy coochie. Honestly, now I realize why women don't care. I realize why women ain't tripping about it now. Because if you get a girlfriend, you just like skip it. You know? It was an experience. That's what women call it. It's an experience. It was just a different look. It was an experience. I went through something. It was just a time. A time was had. And then y'all do that dumb thing. A time was had. A time was had. So you didn't trip. So you just took a little mini vacation. Your credit was bad anyway. You needed to sit down for a while, you know, let the creditors get off you, let some stuff drop off. You ain't tripping. Oh man, vacation, skip it, give him to his father. I go in there with my girlfriend. My girl got a girlfriend. I'm chilling. The guy get in there like, oh, the fuck. Nigga, what you doing there? What y'all had going on in there? Who's your celly? Nah, dog. Nah, nigga. You was on your knees, nigga. You was on your knees, bro. Nah, nigga, don't come out trying to talk tough. Yeah, nigga, prison's different. Nigga, if you don't want to be involved in the life, you just go ahead and walk away. Nah, nigga, he reverse cowgirled you and he put his monkey in your face, nigga. That's what happened to you. I don't trust you. And nigga, stop talking so close to me. Because your breath smell like penis. Your breath smell like penis, nigga. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm sorry. Okay, that was more than 10 minutes. All right, I'm sorry. We own it. We own it. Don't do mail fraud. Here's the point of the whole monologue and why we got derailed. When y'all get these jobs and you just got on, I'm sorry, Urban Singh, you just got on, you're right. When y'all get these jobs that's working at the post office or you doing UPS or you doing Amazon Flex, whatever you're doing, stay out the mix, bro. Stay out the mix. Don't steal. Don't take nothing. If you work at the bank, they got cameras everywhere. You work at the casino, they got cameras everywhere. Don't take nothing. You will be surprised how many people they anticipate. They go through new hires. They watch them closely. They anticipate for the new hires that get hired into the casino for 50% of them right away to drop off because they can't keep their hands to themselves and they're going to be stealing. They anticipate the theft. They know you're going to steal. Don't even get the job if you're a kleptomaniac. You're not going to come up. You're not going to win. You're going to get that felony on your record. You're going to get banned and you're not going to be able to get a job. You're not going to be able to get the job. That's the whole point of this. And you're going to go to jail. All right. And that's the last thing you do. You won't. Shout out to 392Q says AD and Myron for president in 2028. Imagine how the country will be. Melvin Johnson says AD in the bag chasing. My company is having a town home meeting tomorrow with all of my manufacturing plants here in the Midwest and one in Canada. I want to pose a question that will help me stand out further in the company. Let me see. Company town home meetings, manufacturing plants in the Midwest and one in Canada. Ask about something relative to the vision of the company, but you got to make it personal, right? So when you ask a question, you want to stand out, but you want to make it intelligent enough to not make it general. And so you want to make it personal to this. So this is how you lead with the question in order to stand out. Hey, so quick question. So I noticed that there was, I'll just give you an example and you can apply it to whatever it is that you got going on. Quick question. I noticed that there was a lot of manufacturing that was coming in and out, and based off of the markets and the tariff markets, I'm wondering, are we as affected, and how does that impact the expansion plans that you lined up for us that was highlighted prior to Trump coming in office? Something like that, right? Like, you want to make it personal to what you guys have going on, but you want to make it intelligent enough to where it broadly hits everybody and people pay attention. And it's got to be precise. It can't be a long-winded question. You should be able to get out your question within 20 seconds. And then you want to lead with a compliment. All right. Lead with a compliment. Hey, thanks for taking my question. I think that you are doing a phenomenal job, and I appreciate you for giving us insight into the how, this and that, so on and so forth, whatever. Here's my question. You want to lead with a compliment, make it personal, and then broaden your scope. Lead with a compliment, make it personal, broaden your scope, stay within 20 seconds. Man, thank you for taking my question. And I appreciate the fact that you highlighted this and this and this and this. To piggyback off of that, my question is so on and so forth. Or thank you for answering part of the question that I was thinking about before I had this, because you did explain this. But here's my question, because you want to let them know that you're paying attention, right? You want to compliment them, let them know that you're paying attention, make it personal, and then broaden your scope. So that's the idea of the question that you want to ask. And don't be long-winded. Sometimes you can even practice it in the mirror before you get there. Practice it. Don't wing it. Winging it is losing it. Winging it is losing it. You want to be concise. You want to be direct. You want to stand out. You want to be professional. And you want to be articulate in your question. All right? Don't wing it. Don't you wing it. All right? Great question. I like that. I like that. Mr. Lot says they flex and they post about God and blessings. Then they all of a sudden have these haters. Yeah, forget the haters. What you think about overemployment? It is okay to do 2 full-time remote jobs at the same time, and why are companies against it? I'm thinking about it. Well, companies are against it because the idea of it is that the effort that you're putting into one company, you should be putting into you. You should be putting into that. And more importantly, they don't know what the overlap is, right? So let's say, for example, you work in this job, and they may think you work in 2 jobs at the same time during the same hours. And so that's the thing. If you're going to do it, then you want to make sure that you don't get caught, and you want to make sure you don't have a non-compete agreement in your contract. All right, be careful, because they're gonna believe that you're not being as productive because you got 2 different visions, and you allocating 50% of your energy to this. So how can you give 100% to what we got going on? Kwame Hayes says, on your knees is crazy work. Nicholas Henry says, I did overemployment back in 2022, brought in 5 figures a month after taxes. I'm trying to get back to it, but the job market is horrible for us tech workers. Yeah. That's why I tell people never to depend on it. Use it, run it up, invest in it, and then just get as much as you can out of it. I was telling people to do that. Manny Plays PC says they breath be smelling like what is a dick cheese? Oh my God. Wyatt says, I'm willing to bet the girl from last night is tuned in, boyfriend over her shoulder talking about that's the guy from last night. Her answer, yeah, he funny. He lead the room. She rubbing her hands like Birdman. I love y'all. I love y'all. I ain't trying to break up a happy home. She both of ours. We just gonna keep her at your house. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification. Trump is taking over, or at the very least threatening to take over Chicago, because Chicago is in shambles. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Chicago is in shambles. So it's 2 things that Trump is threatening to do. The first thing that he's threatening to do is he's threatening to end no cash bail. I wish I had my applause thing in here. He's threatening to end no cash bail in Chicago. So some of you may be a little bit familiar with this, but if you're not, I'm going to bring you up to speed. So they used to have the SAFE-T Act. All right. A lot of y'all are not familiar with this. It actually helped to assist illegal migrants for them to be able to do whatever it is that they wanted to do. And so it allowed for them to be able to get out of jail, no bail. Some crimes, and I'll actually, here, let me look it up. Safety Act, Illinois. All right. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me a second. Illinois.gov. All right. So this was a Safety Act for you guys, just to give you a reference point. Chicago governor, and this was in December 6, 2022. Pritzker today signed the HB 1095, a series of amendments and clarifications of the landmark Safety Act. And so basically what it is, and I'm not going to make y'all read all of this. Basically what it is it allowed for basically criminals to have less accountability. So if you got arrested for something, you could just basically get out with a promissory note. Okay. And this was widespread across the state, but it largely impacted Chicago the most because obviously we know that's where the majority of the crime was, right? So very soft accountability rules over in Chicago. And Trump is not only looking to end no cash bail, but he's actually also considering sending in the National Guard in Chicago. And so I believe, well, I'll tell you what my thoughts are. Let me play this out for y'all.
What he calls a crime crackdown in the nation's capital today. President Donald Trump also set his sights on Chicago.
He says we are next when it comes to National Guard deployment, and he wants to end the no cash bail policy. Our Charlie DeMar is always investigating, talking to experts about the president's options here, Charlie.
And Joe and Erica, the president says he'll bring back cash bail here in Illinois. The Safety Act eliminated the bail system statewide, no longer requiring people to pay to get out of jail before trial. But legal experts say President Trump doesn't have the ability to change state law.
Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago.
President Donald Trump once again singled out Chicago, this time for the state's decision to eliminate cash bail. The law that went into effect in 2023 is meant to prevent people arrested for nonviolent or low-level crimes from being held in jail simply because they don't have enough money to make bail.
By the way, every place in the country where you have no cash bail is a disaster.
As usual, he got the facts wrong.
The Illinois Network for Pretrial Justice advocates for reducing pretrial incarceration
to make sure that community members know how the system actually works
and educates people on what it means to eliminate cash bail. Now a judge determines whether to release someone after they've been accused of a crime, opposed to setting a price for their pretrial release. Matthew McLaughlin is a campaign coordinator.
Families are no longer being forced to choose between paying a ransom to free their loved one or paying the rent. And that's,
well, this is why it was supposed to be implemented, right? And so this cowboy here with his mustache that overcomes his lip. Again, I don't trust any man whose mustache covers their front lip. If I can only see your bottom lip, because I know we like to go overboard. Anton said that he don't trust guys with no mustache and no beard. Okay, but there's also another type of guy that I don't trust. A guy that talks like he's sleepy and his mustache completely covers his front lip. If I can't see your front lip, then I think that you are a social justice warrior and you also might be a little bit sassy. All right. So the whole reason behind why people put up a bail is because it gives people an incentive to come back to court. In the old days, if you get arrested and accused of a crime, you get held until you ultimately go to court. All right. So a revision of it to allow for people to continue to live their lives and be able to help their children or whatever is say, okay, well, you have to put up some form of collateral. So mama put up her house. That's how we know you're going to come back, because you know your mama's house is going to be gone and the bail bondsman is coming to get you if you skip bail, right? That what it's because people have no incentive. A criminal that's doing some of the worst things in society, he's already a criminal. So why would I believe that he's coming back to actually face a sentence when he has no incentive to? No, he's gonna turn into Leonardo DiCaprio and he's gonna play Catch Me If You Can. He's gonna turn into Leonardo DiCaprio and he's gonna play Catch Me If You Can. Because if you're somebody that's willing to kill somebody or commit a crime or a heinous crime against somebody, then you have no incentive to come. Why should we release you? Why would we release you? Then most people that commit crimes, they're less likely to come into court because they think that they're going to jail. Man, you think you're going to get a 10-year sentence? I'm out. I'm gone. I'm out. I'm gone. So it's not that they're paying a ransom, and I hate this liberal talk. It's not paying a ransom. It's using collateral to ensure that you are going to come back to court. You'll get it back, or it'll be applied to whatever fees that you get charged or whatever, whatever it is. But it's to ensure that you come back. Hey, man, how do I know you're going to actually come back to face your sentence? Or how do I know that you're going to actually come back to court? Well, you don't. So you got to use collateral. You got to use something to be able to justify that you're going to actually come back to court. It's not a ransom. They're loved ones. What about the loved ones of the people that they actually did a crime against?
Making all of our communities safer.
There's 0% chance he could, by his own order, cash bail to come back to Illinois. It has to be an action initiated by the General Assembly in Springfield.
Protests erupted Monday in D.C. as Trump announced that he will deploy the National Guard.
If we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent.
Facts.
He's an incompetent man.
Facts.
And we have an incompetent governor there. Pritzker's an incompetent.
The Nonpartisan Center.
I love how Trump just tells it like it is. One of the beauties is that we don't have to play politics with Trump. We can get just straight to it. One of the beauties of having Trump in office is that we don't have to play politics. We can get straight to it. But I'm going to tell you what the real play is and how you tie DC in to Chicago and why Trump is saying this.
Well, Ravi, one lawmaker called it political theater. Another says deploying the National Guard is against the law. And Mayor Johnson says no one in Chicago is asking for the help. The response follows President Trump calling both the mayor and the governor incompetent.
Only in Chicago is asking for
He
help.
did it to control protesters in Los Angeles. And now President Trump is deploying the National Guard to Washington, D.C. to combat crime, a job he claims the police can no longer handle.
If we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent. He's an incompetent man.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says there is no need for the National Guard. Similar to D.C., violent crime is down in Chicago.
It would destabilize our city, quite frankly. No one in the city of Chicago, residents that I've spoken to, the people of this city, no one has ever asked for the National Guard.
Johnson says if Trump really wants to help, he would not have cut $800 million in violence prevention programs in his big policy bill. And while the president criticized Johnson, he gave Governor Pritzker a good dose of it as well.
Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president.
Yo, I didn't know that. Is that true, y'all? Is that true? Yo, hold on, wait, because I know that we always talk about J.B. Pritzker being, a billionaire and all of this other type of stuff. Did his family eliminate him out of the business? See, that's why I like Trump, because Trump is just gonna tell it like it is. He's gonna give the whole skinny. He's gonna give the whole skinny. Hey. Somebody try to find that out and figure out if it's true. That the reason why, because honestly, I always try to figure out if it's not a power move, then what benefit is it for you to actually run for some of these offices to where you bring more visibility to yourself and you're not actually doing a good job? What is the point? I've always said that I don't see any point in running for office because it's actually less money and it takes away from what I got going on. Did J.B. Pritzker get thrown out of the business? Trump said that it's a possibility. He didn't say it's a possibility. He said he got it thrown out of the business. Is it possible that J.B. Pritzker got thrown out of the family? Because listen, family feuds happen all the time. We just don't see it in person, or we don't see it out loud. Family feuds happen all the time. Is it possible that J.B. Pritzker is into politics because he has no place in the family business? Y'all said Pritzker owns Hyatt. No, I heard his family. His family owns it. That don't necessarily mean that he owns it. If J.B. Pritzker is running for president of the United States of America, that's a disaster.
But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance.
I guess I should say thank you for the compliment.
Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president. But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance.
Oh, my God. Oh. Oh. Oh, my God. Trump is a savage. He is a savage. Oh, man.
I guess I should say thank you for the compliment.
Well, Pritzker says he's not ruling out a run for president. His focus now is running for a third term as Illinois governor. He says if the president sends the National Guard to Chicago, it will immediately be fought in court because Pritzker says it violates federal law.
It's not surprising to me that he suggests violating the law. He's done it many times and been convicted of it 34 times.
Meantime, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the threat of sending the National Guard here is nothing more than political theater.
It's a typical move by this president to create chaos and uncertainty.
We gotta get these old people that don't even look like they got teeth out of office. We gotta get them out, bro. We gotta get them out. If you get to the point to where you look incompetent, where you gotta squint your eyes to hear better, y'all know how it is. Whenever you want to hear somebody clear, you do like this. If you got to do that, then we got to get you up out of office, because it's not even about age. It's more or less about people that is so off and disconnected, they don't even know what's going on. If you got to do like this to see better, then we got to get you out of office. If you got to squint to hear somebody, what did you say? What did you say? If you got to have dentures, then we got to get you out of office, bro. But let me tell you what I believe is really going on, bro. Let me tell you what I believe is going on. I believe what happens in Los Angeles, or what happened in Los Angeles with regard to the National Guard and the Supreme Court ruling that Trump can use the National Guard and the military in order to make sure that that city was safe and that they didn't spread any more graffiti, especially on federal buildings. What is happening in Washington, D.C.? That is the blueprint for how they are going to roll out and fix a lot of these liberal cities and deal with the insurrections and the disrespect and the criminal element and the underreporting of crime happening throughout those cities. When they are successful in DC, you don't think that they're actually going to roll out some of these exact same programs and the exact same blueprints over into these other cities where these mayors are incompetent? You don't think that they're going to do the same thing in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, all of these places? Alfonso says, so you want him to violate the Constitution? You agree with that? Y'all, listen. Alfonso. I know you don't have a profile picture, so I'm assuming that you jerk off in your socks. Did I give my opinion even at all about whether or not he should or he shouldn't? Or am I giving you the new? I need y'all to be able to separate the two. You're going to have to separate between what I'm reporting and what I think is going to happen versus whether I agree with it or not. I will tell you if I agree or I disagree separately from having a conversation of what you probably can expect. What I'm telling you right now is what I believe is the blueprint for how things are going to be perfected and rolled out into a different place. And that I think you should pay attention to the difference between the two. Okay? Don't jerk off in your socks. Right now, I'm telling you what I believe is happening in DC and what's happening in Los Angeles. Here's the thing. And this is the reason why the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor when it came to rolling out the National Guard and the military over in Los Angeles, is because when it comes to crime and issues that are starting to affect things, and if they can justify it, like you are defacing or you're tearing up or you're rioting or you do something to a federal building, or if you don't believe that the crime can be taken care of, because I want y'all to also understand something else. When they sue the Trump administration, because they continue to try to sue and he's winning all the way up to the Supreme Court, especially when they appeal, they're wasting taxpayer dollars to do so. They are wasting taxpayer dollars to do so. Your monies in your state is being wasted for them to sue only to get it appealed and then rejected all the way up to the Supreme Court. They are giving him power to do some of the things that he's doing. So instead of you wasting taxpayer money to do so, what you need to do is deploy the right policies to fix your city so that you don't have any kind of federal takeover so that the kids can walk to school safely. Well, the crime is not down, though, the daily discourse. It's underreported. And they don't have as many police officers deployed, and they keep changing the state of what they think that violent crime is. So if it is underreported, or you don't have police officers showing up, or people do egregious things like they did in Los Angeles, and then they don't arrest people when they're doing street takeovers. They don't arrest people when they deface property. They don't arrest people for break-ins all the time. They don't arrest people for certain type of robberies. They classify it as shoplifting so that they can then say that crime is down. Crime is not down. Crime is not down. The way that they juke the stats make it seem like crime is down. But I honestly believe that this is the blueprint for how it is that they're going to deal with other cities. Real talk. It's not down. It's not. Things have not gotten better. And they're using, I'm not going to dig into it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning on notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. Chris Taroli says, can AI effectively summarize a lengthy legal document? It absolutely can. It absolutely can. Listen, bro, y'all need to go and get into and look at the last stream that I did. I'm going to do another one. I'm actually talking about AI at the end of this live stream today. About GPT5 and its new features and things like that. So stick around for that. But I go get into the Patreon and look at the last AI video in which I was showing y'all how to develop prompts to create applications. I gave examples for that. I gave examples on how it is that you can summarize documents, project management using Canvas, deep research. I showed you how it is that I leverage AI in some instances in order to streamline some of the things that I do from a work perspective. What jobs is coming with AI is. So I gave a whole spiel and answered a lot of questions when it came to artificial intelligence inside of the Patreon. And y'all need to go and watch that, honestly. And I got another one coming up. All right, I got another one coming up. Courtney Smith says, come on and slide through Trump. Chicago been needed this for a minute. No cash bail has been used to release too many violent repeat offenders. Facts, Courtney Smith. I appreciate you. Eric Williams says, Anton, I definitely hope you reach out to Chicago's conservative YouTube channel. They will be very upset if y'all if y'all two get together. What is Chicago Conservative YouTube channel? Let me look this up. Chicago Conservative YouTube channel. Let's see. The Chicago. Oh, okay. I see him. I see you. All right, big dog. See videos. All right. All right. I like to support content creators. So shout out to all of the content creators. Shout out to all of the content creators. I like new content creators. Chris Cunningham says defund the police hurt America. Facts. Brandon Nicholson says Mark Cuban switched over to Trump's side. Just saw it on X. Really? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Send it to me. Skinny Boy Django Morrison says, I used to wonder why none of the presidents did nothing about D.C., including President Obama. It's a ghetto town down the street, but President Trump is doing something about it, and now he is going after Chicago. People should be welcoming this type of stuff in. If you're not a criminal, you should welcome it in. Am I trolling? Am I trolling what? What do you mean am I trolling? What am I trolling? I think not having a profile picture kind of makes you weird. And I'm not saying that you're weird for not having a profile picture. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I always get the weirdest questions or the weirdest comments from people that don't have a profile picture. I honestly think that it just goes hand in hand. I get the weirdest questions from people, and I don't know what it is. I get the weirdest questions from people that don't have a profile picture, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I have no clue. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's a thing. I don't know why people don't know how to be regular when they don't have a profile picture. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. It's like your IQ goes up when you get a profile picture. Like you ask better questions, things happen differently. I don't know what that is. Why is it when people don't have a profile picture, for whatever reason, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time when they don't have a profile picture, it's like they ask weird questions, and I don't know what that is, bro. And I be trying to understand it, and it's so weird sometimes. It's like, what are you talking about? Somebody says, don't worry, they lift your algorithm. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care either way. Like, y'all need to join a Patreon and I can teach y'all some things. I don't care like whether people be here, whether people don't be here. None of that stuff matters to me, honest to goodness. David Simpson says the Department of Justice can take over the local police departments under certain circumstances. Lawyer Mark Davis went over this yesterday with Megyn Kelly. Shout out to Big Drew. Shout out to Big Drew in the building. Megyn Kelly done from having a meltdown from when Diddy got off. I haven't seen Megyn Kelly until since Diddy got acquitted, and she crashed out over that. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into more money focus and social issues. All right. So it's a few things that I want to cover. The first thing is people are unhappy in the metro. I think it's the metro Atlanta area over proposed property taxes over a 31% hike. 31% property tax hike, I hear, is out here in these streets, and people are absolutely angry about it. Have y'all heard anything about this in Atlanta or in the Atlanta area? At a 31% property tax hike? Bro, I would be putting my house on the market immediately. I would be putting my house on the market immediately.
Another North Georgia community faces a possible double-digit property tax increase.
Yeah, people in Douglas County face a 31% property tax increase, and they want to know why. Fox says Kevin Stewart was at a public hearing on the proposal, and it got fiery. He joins us now from the county courthouse in Douglasville to explain. Kevin?
Yeah, it sure did get fiery. I want to give you a little bit of perspective. The county actually rolled back the millage rate the past 2 years, but just like the cost of doing business has gone up for you at home, the county says it's the same thing for them too.
Everyone in this room stand who is opposing the property taxes increase. That's what you need to know.
Douglas County Commissioners and Administration got an earful at its first property tax public hearing Monday. The county administration has recommended a 31% millage rate increase for 2025. This comes as the county froze the millage rate 3 years straight, starting in 2020. And Commissioners and Administration got an earful at its first property tax public hearing Monday. The county administration has recommended a 31% millage rate increase for 2025. This comes as the county froze the millage rate 3 years straight, starting in 2020, and rolled it back the past 2 years.
Year over year, there are some increases. And when we approve, particularly a capital improvement initiative, over 2 or 3 years, those costs go up. We may not budget for it at that particular time in that particular year.
With the county reporting it's not running a deficit and has no long-term outstanding debt, taxpayer after taxpayer said the county needs to reassess and demanded county commissioners reject the proposed increase.
We care about what you're spending it on. And it's asinine to ask your constituents to pay for your want and not your need.
By raising the millage rate 3.7 mils, the county finance department says a home assessed at $250,000 would now pay $1,482 in property taxes. That's an increase of more than $300 a year. Not what a New York transplant wanted to hear.
We're thinking that the cost of living would be cheaper. So hearing that there will be a 30% in 1 year feels almost as if it's a little bit tone deaf. Do we not see what's happening in the world right now?
No word on how a final vote will go, but commissioners say they heard loud and clear.
Tighten up the budget and look at where we are, look at what opportunities we have, but also we have to look at additional revenue sources because it can't just be property taxes and sales taxes.
All right, now there are going to be 2 more opportunities for residents to come here to the Douglas County Courthouse to have their say, 2 more public hearings. That's going to be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. and at 6 p.m.
Let me educate y'all a little bit really quickly, all right? I want to educate you guys because it's important for me to help y'all to understand why y'all need to vote. Because I hear this a lot of times from Black people, and they say, this is why we don't vote. Things don't change. And I asked them, I said, well, what do you want to change in your communities? What do you want to change in your neighborhoods? How would you like things to go? And the fact of the matter is that most people have no clue how government works. I'm being honest. Most people have a zero, and I'm not saying all, so don't get offended. If it don't apply, let it fly. Most people have a zero clue how local government works, how national government works, how any of that. And because we don't have understanding, then we just say dumb shit like, well, why would we vote? Because we don't have understanding, we say dumb shit like, oh man, that's the reason why we have a 16% voter turnout rate. That's the reason why we have a 10% voter turnout rate. All of that, right? But let me help you to understand something on a very basic level. When you see stuff like this happening at a local community, your local government, the city that you live in, whether it is the suburb that you live in, or whether it is the city that you live in, or your state or your federal government. I know I'm wasting my time, but it may be somebody that's in here that actually understands this and grasp what I'm trying to say. When you vote down ballot, whether it's the national election or an off-year election, When you see stuff come in the mail, a proposal about certain millages, that is how capital improvements get funded. That's how they then allocate money in order to change the street signs, or whether they're going to change the stoplight, right? Or they want to fund extra work to go into the high school, or they want to build a new track, or they want to build a new school and they need additional funds in addition for whatever it is that's coming from the state or the federal government to play out in your community. Police officers, new police cars, police equipment, body cam, anything, raises for the local politicians, making people full-time, your administrative services, buildings, the building that they use in order to have you go down and file for permits, every single thing, the recreation centers, right? The grass cutting, the police officers that are catching you on radar and they're trying to raise funds by having you get ticketed because they're trying to make sure that they fund the police officers to keep enough on staff. The people that you call in the middle of the night and how many police officers that they have on staff and on duty. It is all funded by your tax dollars. And so you should have a say-so in what happens inside of your community, whether or not you can pay your property taxes online, how much they're going to raise it. So when they introduce these millages, right? Or when your city says, well, we have a AAA bond rating, or we have good credit, so we're going to borrow money. And then they have to raise your property taxes, which basically comes in the millages that you pay to ensure that your schools, your police, your administrators, your mayors, all of this stuff, these are all of the things that happens on the local side of your communities. So you notice how people only show up. And I use Dalton, Illinois as an example. I use Thornton Township as an example. And the reason why I didn't care whether or not Tiffany Henyard got ousted or if she got reelected is the same reason why I didn't care whether or not Brandon Johnson got elected right after Lori Lightfoot. Because just because y'all don't like somebody is the only time that you show up at the community meetings, because somebody like me will do a live stream on it, it will go viral, and then you all of a sudden become concerned. You still only show up at a 10% voter turnout rate. You then replace the person that you just got rid of with the same thing because you are still on identity politics. And the people that are in office don't look at it from a business perspective. So when a Black person tells me that they're lazy enough to not vote, but not lazy enough to go to a Sheen pop-up, and y'all out there getting your hair and your beady beads done and all of this stuff, it concerns me, because it means that you have no vested interest in what happens in your community. Every single local law, where the pedophiles can then have housing at, and how far are they away from a school, whether or not the school need to be rebuilt, how many books is in the library, or whether you even got a librarian. Every single thing. You say, I don't like politics. Nigga, politics is in everything you do. It determines how much you're going to pay when you go to renew your license or when you go to renew your tags. You can't drive down the street without the policies that are created from the legislators in your local community. You can't not like politics. You participated in anyway. You can't even cut a tree down in your yard without getting a permit or permission from the city in order to do so. Trust me, I've been fighting for the last 2.5 months just to get trees cleared so that I can build a house on a property in a community that I own and I pay property taxes on every year. This is why you need to understand your city council is similar to Congress, okay? Your city council to the mayor is like Congress to the president. They are the ones that secure, work on, and they're supposed to be. Alderman is the same as city councilman. They represent your particular district, so you need to get familiar with the person in your district and have an ask. Because if you don't have an ask, they don't know what to fight for. And you're assuming that they know what's going on in your city and your community. You got a street light out, you need to go and ask. You need to get in touch with your city council person so that they can propose that at the Tuesday meeting and say, hey, it's a light out on Hood Street, and we need to replace that because the children can't go and walk to school safely when we have daylight savings time. So what I'm trying to tell you and educate you about, because it's not just about entertainment, it's also about getting the information so that you can be empowered to do the things that you want to do. You need to understand, participate, and don't just go and vote. Educate yourself on the issues. And also, when you get really good, you'll be able to craft what you want the issue to be, because where do you think that the proposals come from? Where do you think that the charity money that's donated and given to the police department, to where they are the ones that distribute the funds within the community and they work closely with the churches, where do you think that proposals come from? Where do you think that the millages and the proposals, where do you think all of that stuff comes from? That don't just come out of nowhere. People that just didn't make that up. Oh man, it's the man, they coming up with that. No, that is coming from business leaders and people that have a vested interest in the community. When they say, listen, we want to bring jobs there, or we trying to recruit a company, should we get tax breaks and incentives in order to create jobs? How many jobs are you going to create? When they then have these large companies or these large buildings that's being built inside of your cities and the communities, and they say, well, we have to have so many jobs that are allocated just for people in the community instead of bringing in outside contractors. Did you know that that's political? Did you know that the contracts that you can then get the business for to work on some of the construction projects or the IT projects or the infrastructure projects, did you know that they had a certain amount of jobs and a hiring requirement that they had to hire so many people from the city? But you keep talking about how you need to start a business. Well, if you started the right business because you understand what's coming down the pipeline in 2026, 2027, 2028, you can get that contract because they are required. And so nobody is bidding on it because they don't have enough companies in the city in order to be able to bid on that particular contract. You can get rich by being the person that's the general contractor and getting your builder's license and putting your company together, getting your proposal together, and you can get that contract because they have to hire you, because in order for them to even have the project, the requirement that was created as a result of the people that was at the Tuesday meeting and saying, hey, listen, if you're going to bring jobs here, then you got to have at least 60% of the people from the city, the ones that actually get the contracts that work on that particular department, then you can be the one that get that. But no, you don't want to get educated. You don't want to understand it. That's why you poor. That's why you poor. It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of insight. It's a lack of information. It's a lack of wisdom. You're poor because you don't want to get the understanding. We so fucking ignorant, bro. It aggravates me. It aggravates me. You can find out man, I know everything that's coming down the pipeline from my state and my cities. I know everything. You know why? Because I'm minding the business that pays me. It's not just about the schools. It's not just about the streets. It's not just about the light poles. It's about whether or not they're going to put money in my pocket, and whether they're going to raise the property taxes, or what contracts is coming down, or what buildings is being demolished, and how they're going to raise the property taxes as a result of this building being demolished, because they're going to put this new development up there, and I need to have a say-so. I need to have a say-so. Bro, I'll give you one more example and we're going to move on. I regularly attend community meetings inside of my cities. People don't even know it. It's usually like 5 people there. And not just for the city of Detroit, for some of the cities that I build properties in. There's usually about 5 or 6 people there. And I attend these meetings because I have proposals. Hey, listen, I want to expand my property, or I want to expand the building lines beyond what it is that you guys have on your books. And so as a result, I need permission from the city to do so. And you know what they say? Any objections to Mr. Daniels? Usually it's my general contractor and Rita there, and I'll just be sitting in the background or whatever, and I'm letting them do all of the talking or whatever. We have an amendment and we want to do this and we want to do this and we want to actually build the property higher than whatever it is that's on your books, whatever. And they say, this is honest to God what they say. Well, nobody in the neighborhood, because they post, hey, we're going to do this and these are the issues that we're going to talk about. They actually have an agenda, right? Well, since nobody is objecting and nobody in the neighborhood is saying that you can't do it, we don't see any problem with it. All that oppose, all that's in favor, aye. Well, the neighbors didn't oppose. Well, this is nobody in the neighborhood is actually having a problem with it. Nobody in the neighborhood is there. So I get what I want. I get what I want because I'm involved. So you gonna have to deal with whatever it is that you don't like that I'm doing. If you don't like something that I'm doing, and it ain't gonna matter because I already got the permits, I already got the approval, and the time that you had in order to object to this thing that I'm about to do, you had an opportunity to do so, and you can't say anything about it now. It's just the honest to God truth. It's honest to God. Oh, I can't believe it. I don't. Too bad. Too bad. Too bad. No, man, we ain't gonna vote because this is the ignorant ones. We ain't gonna vote, man, because it ain't really gonna matter. They don't care about us. I'm trying to educate you. And you know what the best part about it is, honestly, I want to know what the best part about this whole situation is. When you get involved in politics and you start actually participating in your community and you can start controlling what goes on, it's fun. It's like playing Monopoly in real life. It's like playing The Sims in real life. You can literally determine what happens in your city. City planning, city leaders. You can pick your own city leaders. You can groom the people. You can do. Oh man, y'all have no idea. It is so fun hearing the things that's coming down and the people that's up there and what's coming. It is so fun. It is so fun. It's super fun. It's way more fun than this bullshit that we got going on out here in these streets. Y'all don't even be doing nothing. Okay, Anton, you have money to give proposal. Half of us have our cars on the repo list. What does being able to participate in city politics? It's not about money. You don't have to have money in order to have your voice heard and know what's coming down in the. All right, you're right. You got it. You got it. You got it. You're right. No. I agree with you. You're right. Just stay home. You're right. There's no need for you to sign in online to see what's observing it in real time on a live. You right. You 100% right. I agree with you. Stay home. Stay home. I agree. Krista Jackson says, I live in South Atlanta and Henry County, and no one wants property and sales tax to keep going up, but they keep voting blue, make it make sense. Jay Hunter Lee says, don't come to Florida, please. Keep you and your voting ways out of it in the ATL. Brandon Gordon says property is going up another 7.8% where I reside in Florida. Thinking about putting my property up for sale. Don't be late with it. Make your decision sooner rather than later. Florida Panoramic says great info. Big business talk. Wyatt B856 says, so basically, AD, these people are passing a bill with like 100 people saying 100%. Less than that sometimes. Less than that. Chris Cunningham says they'd rather support Lil Nene at court. You know what's so funny? I see people more invested in whether or not Boosie took a plea deal than what's happening in their own communities. I see people, bro, it be videos. What did Boosie say? Did he snitch? Oh, man, he took a plea deal with the feds. Nigga, how you gonna care about whether or not Boosie, who don't even live in your community, took a plea deal with the feds over whether or not people are going to pass a millage that increase your property taxes, and even if you're a renter, that's going to increase the price of your rent. They care about Boosie's plea deal. Niggas, bro, people send it to me. You should talk about this on the Millionaire Morning Show. I open it up in my email. They want me to talk about whether or not Boosie is going to jail. Now I got a choice to make because I'm going to do 6 subjects. Do I talk about whether or not these millages, and it's going to be a 31% increase on the millage in this outside city of Atlanta, or do I talk about Boosie's plea deal? Now I got a dilemma, right? I'm going to tell you what my dilemma is. This is me every day. I got a dilemma. All right, well, I know that if I talk about Boosie's plea deal with the feds, I can get way more views when I clip that up. Or I can try to figure out how to do all of the extras to make it entertainment. Maybe I got to yell at you and talk about somebody that's jerking off in their socks with no profile picture in order to try to put the medicine and the candy to educate you on why it is that you need to get involved in your local community when it comes to the voting. Because I know that's not sexy. There's no way I can sexy up a property tax increase in a millage in a city of Atlanta or a city outside of Atlanta in order to make you get involved in your local politics. But I know you're going to be on it when I put Boosie on that thumbnail. That's my dilemma. How do I balance out keeping you niggas entertained while at the same time educating you? So I got to mix it up. I got to mix it up because niggas is just ignorant. They don't want the information. I got to mix it up. I got to talk about a nigga jerking off in his socks, saying something dumb. I can't just give you the information. I gotta entertain you. I gotta go and do some dancing. I got a water wave for you in order for you to want to pay attention because it just, oh my God. So dumb. So stupid. You know me. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna just say it at this point. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna say it at this point. Maybe you wouldn't have your car getting repossessed if you was paying attention to the things that I was saying. Some of us got our car on the repo list. Well, let me tell you something. Most of us, especially the people that's in the bag chasers, is buying your car off the repo list. Or maybe we even started the company that's going to repossess your car. Maybe your car wouldn't be on the repo list if you wasn't such an abrasive person pushing back on everything that we say. Have you ever thought about that? Want to be the person that get off the repo list? I can help you with that. Do you want to be on the repo list? Because it's always niggas that's poor getting their car repossessed that's still talking shit. Do you want to get your car off the repo list or not? Because I can help you with that. That's why y'all girls is tripping on y'all. Because they know that you got your car on the repo list and you trying to act like everything, no, babe, everything is cool. No, that's why. No, that's because you ain't going 50-50 with me. Meanwhile, I bring her in to where I'm at. She ain't never rode in first class before. She got upgraded one time to the big seat in Spirit, and you thought you was doing something. It wasn't even that didn't even happen by happen chance. Like they just so happened to pick her. It was a random selection. She come in first class and ask her what meal selection. What would you like? Do you want braised beef or do you want the vegetarian option? She get wine, all of that stuff. She ain't used to it. She don't know nothing about it. She don't know. What kind of wine you got? You got some yellowtail? You got Henny on here? She ain't used to shit. She always getting into the Uber, the small one, a Geo Metro Uber. We got her a black truck, gave her a suite. She never coming home the same now. And she see you in my comments talking about, man, half of us got our car on the repo list. And what you think is going to happen to you? What you think is going to happen in that instance? What you think is going to happen in that instance? Hey, where you got to meet up at? Is she coming? She going. Let me stop. Y'all ready to move on with the show? I'm going to read Super Chat shortly. I promise you. Let's go into Mark Zuckerberg real quick, all right? So Zuck. Speaking of property, people is mad at Zuck. It says, Zuck, we not happy about this. We not happy. And I said, why y'all mad at Zuck? Why you mad at Zuck? The people in the community that had an opportunity to control what happened in the community is mad at Zuckerberg because he buying up all of the homes in the neighborhood. People always getting mad at Zuck. You know what I'm saying? But he out here in these streets and he doing what he doing. He's shaping the world to be in his image. and he's buying up all of the homes in the neighborhood, and all of the neighbors is outraged as a result of it. Let's dig into it, y'all.
This morning, one of the world's richest men, tech billionaire Mark Zuckerberg, at the center of a neighborhood drama. The Facebook founder allegedly piling up properties in Palo Alto, California, miles from Meta headquarters. A New York Times report finds Zuckerberg has bought at least 11 homes in the affluent Crescent Park area, spending more than $110 million to create a compound for his family. That includes multiple guest homes, a pool, pickleball court, and even a private school for 14 children that may violate the city code. The Times said it reviewed city and state documents and spoke to 9 neighbors, including 7 who asked to remain anonymous. Underneath it all sits 7,000 square feet of space that building permits call basements, but some neighbors refer to as a bunker. Zuckerberg has also built underground on other land he's been buying up in Hawaii, describing it like this.
I think that's just like a little shelter under, and it's like a
little shelter.
I do have an underground tunnel.
Do you really?
Yeah. People are saying I built this like bunker underground. It's like more of underground storage
Bring it up.
situation.
Peter Balte was a member of the Palo Alto Architectural Review Board in 2016 when Zuckerberg asked for permission to demolish 4 homes.
There were rather odd designs. One had a large basement for some meeting rooms or some kind. It just wasn't residential in nature. We ultimately rejected the project.
But Zuckerberg revised his plans to avoid needing approval, according to The Times, a pattern residents say of finding loopholes. Since Zuckerberg moved to Crescent Park more than a decade ago, they also say the disruptions have been endless. Construction blocking roads and driveways, security surveillance even on public sidewalks, and noise from the couple's massive parties. A spokesperson for Zuckerberg and Chan telling The Times they value being members of the community and have taken a number of steps above and beyond any local requirements to avoid disruption in the neighborhood. But many residents are still frustrated, saying the compound has changed the tight-knit community.
Having a community where you see your neighbors, where you say hello to each other, that's something that's core to Palo Alto, and that's what's being pushed away at in Palo Alto today with this situation.
So, Liz, what are the neighbors hoping for at this point?
Yeah, Savannah, so one city council member who lives close told the New York Times there needs to be a change to the actual code, arguing it shouldn't allow one person to take over an entire neighborhood.
What are they doing? They sent, it's too late now because he's already started implementing his will. But what are they doing? It's similar to what I just talked to you guys about in this last section when I said that when you start to get involved, how you get zoned, how you get coded, all of that type of stuff, everything is controlled by local government and the city council. However, when you're talking about a billionaire that has unlimited money and unlimited resources, let me tell you what the smart people did. The smart people sold. It's just the facts. I know we obsessed with billionaires. We obsessed with why they're building underground bunkers. For me, I don't really give a fuck. Like, honestly, I'm more concerned with my own family, my own objective, my own goals, what I got going on. I'm not really caring about what billionaires is doing unless I'm using them as a blueprint so that I can continue to run a bag up for myself. So I genuinely don't care. But the smart people that knew that they can't compete, the thing about shout out to my white people and my snow hairs. Older people and snow hairs, older white snow hairs and snow bunnies, they are vigilant when it comes to their community. You know, this used to be an environment where I used to speak to my neighbor, and I used to do it, and I used to see him come through, and I say, "Hey, Bob, how's it going on the lawn?" They vigilant in the community. Black people only complain when they think that their property is going to go up, or they don't own any property, and so they feel like they're being pushed out. Everything being gentrified. It's more white people in here. I remember when it used to be the hood. You hated living there. You tried to move out. You couldn't move out, so you moved back into your mama's childhood home, and you've been squatting for a long time. So black people and white people is a little different. Black people, a lot of times, you only see them majorly complain when somebody is coming in and they're changing the fabric of the neighborhood. And man, where's all of these white people? It used to be so cultural. I see that happen here in Miami. Yeah, gentrified. They love the word gentrified. I seen it happen in Miami. Wynwood, for those of you that are from here or that is familiar with the Miami spaces that I'm in right now, Wynwood used to be different. Man, I remember when the Wynwood walls was free. You could be able, it was so gritty. It had a feel to it. You know, you would come in and you didn't know whether or not the music was gonna blast your clothes off and you was gonna get robbed, or the people are what made up Wynwood. And Wynwood used to be hood. It used to be the get low. And it's right across the street from the design district in Midtown. So what did you think was going to happen? Now they got all Wynwood is starting to look just like out my window right here. Wynwood is starting to look just like that. Starting to look just like out my window. That's a fact. Because they got the Dave's hot chicken over there. They still keep the fabric of it, right? So they keep the whole graffiti theme and all of that, but they got high rises over there. They building them all kind of crazy and stuff. They cleaned it up. They got food trucks every weekend, They got all of that over there. And so it's just different. But the people go, man, I remember when Wynwood used to be different. Now they pricing us out. Nigga, you never was in. You never lived there. Black people kill me always complaining about property that they don't own in the hood that they love. Don't own one piece of land. I remember in Detroit, they used to sell lots back in like 2008 or whatever. And they gave priority to the person that lived directly next to it. So let's say, for example, you got an empty lot next to you, or it was a house that was demolished and abandoned. And so they gave the people that was next to the property an opportunity to be able to buy the property that was next to them. So they would give them first dibs. That was just the law. They gave them first dibs. But you could buy it for like $500. I kid you not. Them days is over. Them days is way over. But you used to be able to buy a lot that used to have a house on it for $500. I kid you not. It was already bulldozed. It was already over and all of that stuff. Now, all the white people came in and they bought up all of the stuff. And so the person that was saying next door, man, I don't want that lot. I'm going to just park my cars on it anyway. And so the white people came in and they started, Asians, Californians, Floridians, Texans, they came in and they bought all of that shit up. And now they starting to build homes on it. Man, this is crazy. That house wasn't there. That wasn't there. Man, look at this. Brush Park is different. Have y'all seen Brush Park? Oh, man, I got to show it to you, bro. I got to show it to you. It was nothing in Brush Park. It was nothing in Brush Park.
Detroit marking a major milestone for a transformative project in Brush Park. Today, city leaders and communities celebrated the completion of City Modern, a mixed-use development including housing and businesses. 7 News Detroit reporter Demetrio Sanders has more on how the project is adding vibrancy to the neighborhood.
Those involved with City Modern say this is a project 10 years in the making, bringing plenty of excitement to this neighborhood that was once vacant.
Born in Brush Park and now chair of the Brush Park Community Development Corporation, Mona Ross Gardner remembers what the neighborhood was like years ago.
A lot of drugs.
That's what it looked like. Let me show you.
Mona Ross Gardner remembers what the neighborhood.
That's what it looked like in Brush Park. Actually, it was 10 times worse than that. It was 10 times. Listen, this picture, even though this is old, this ain't old like the 2010s and the 90s. Because I'm looking at Little Caesars Arena. And before they built Little Caesars Arena, it was nothing. It was nothing over there. It was vacant land. It was buildings that was falling down. It was old. It was messed up. I explored it. It was tore down in Brush Park. You could get land over there across from Little Caesars Arena right before you hit downtown. You can get land over there for nothing. Nothing. It was nothing over there. Listen, I told people a long time ago, I said, bro, the Midwest, Detroit, it's crazy over here. People don't know, man, ain't nobody, you gonna lose out, bro. That's where all of the money is. That's where all of the opportunity is. It's insane, bro.
Who it was like years ago.
A lot of drug use, abandoned houses, dilapidated homes everywhere. There were very few people that actually lived here.
Which is much different than what it looks like today.
Lots of life, lots of youth, lots of creativity.
In 2015, Bedrock started work on City Modern, a development bringing 450 housing units, rehabbed houses, 31,000 square feet of retail space, and 20 brand new buildings to Brush Park. Thursday, marking the project's completion.
Yeah, it's a little surreal to be out here sort of standing in the project and experiencing it.
The housing includes 340 apartments, 54 affordable homes.
It's different, bro. Like the whole fucking city is crazy now, bro. The whole city is just evolved. It don't look nothing like when I grew up. It looks nothing like how it was in the 2000s, 2010, the 1990s. It's a whole nother space now, bro. Honestly, man. It's just different. It's way different. The festivals is different. Everything is different. Downtown is different. It's booming. It's a lot of people everywhere. Yeah, bro. It's crazy. It is insane. Everything is new. Developers has got skyscrapers and cranes all through the city and stuff like that. A bunch of people is moving in. I'm like, what is happening down? And it's great to see, honestly, because to have lived through what we lived through, they redoing Greektown now. They tow up the whole street, making the whole thing walkable instead of having cars driving through there. I said, what? It's crazy, bro.
Homes and 105 for-sale units. Bedrock developer Jonathan Mueller says the development helps connect the city and encourage.
Who owns Bedrock? Dan Gilbert. What does Dan Gilbert own? Cleveland Cavaliers, Rocket Mortgage. When Dan Gilbert moved his company into the city and he started moving all of his employees in there, I knew it was, I said, yo, it's going up, bro.
Future growth.
There was quite a few breaks in the urban fabric in Brush Park, and I think a big part of the thinking here for Bedrock, along with the city and the CDC, was we needed to do something that would be transformative, that would lead others to think about doing projects in Brush Park. And really, that has proven true.
And the owner of Lania, a Spanish-inspired wood-fired restaurant in City Modern, says when he thought about where to bring his business, Brush Park checked all boxes.
The idea of walkability and density, it was the idea of...
These are the people that live in Detroit now. These are the people, honestly, when I walk down and I go past Copperfield and all of these restaurants and stuff, these are the people that live in Detroit now, bro. They look just like this. Or it'd be some white woman walking her dog or something like that, walking her puppy. It's insane, bro. They are bubbles. All of that junk is revamped. It looks crazy. It's not the same, bro. The Hudson's building. Four years ago, it looked way different. Today, it looked insane. This is what it looked like 7 years ago.
Well, it was October 28th, 1998, the biggest building demolition in Detroit history.
New. Well, it certainly would be. Yes, and in fact, it's one of those things where there, the HUD wants to know what was. Girders jutting from the parking lots.
This is what it looked like. It just looked like a parking lot. This is literally the designs that they have for it now. It looked like a parking lot. This was the Hudson's building. It was nothing but a parking lot back there. All of that was just a parking lot. Crazy, bro, how stuff changed.
And now part of the building is welcoming guests.
And how beautiful it is. We've been watching Hudson's Detroit reshape the city's skyline for years, becoming one of the tallest buildings in the state. And tonight, we're getting our first look inside the department, which is that smaller structure attached to the giant tower.
7 News Detroit anchor Simon Shakad got an exclusive tour showing how the venue is achieving a world-class experience while holding on to a sense of nostalgia for so many Detroiters.
Here at Hudson's Detroit, you can feel the nostalgia everywhere you look. Right now, I'm standing in the kitchen. Have been working on for years.
Now that's what it looks like right there.
Kitchen called the department, part of
all of that is right there on that parking lot that was there 7 years ago. Everything changes, bro. Everything, and if you don't get on it, honestly, if you don't start to jump on things and be able to see the opportunities that come with it before they transform it and shit, then you're just gonna get left behind. Then you're gonna get left behind, honestly. And so now I'm getting invitations so that I can go and check out, and see if I want to purchase the penthouse or condo inside of the Hudson's building, because it's going to be sitting right next to the GM building, because all of the GM headquarters is moving in there. And so, a lot of people just get left behind, and then they complain, oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't know what's going on. That's all you see, bro. So, yep, that's it. Let me, I want to see if I want to talk about one more thing. Let me read a couple of super chats. I'm next, and Q says, just bookmark my city council meeting page. Congratulations. Thank you for stepping up and informing yourself. Christopher Mayberry says, going to city council meetings is how I became able to rent my land range out for the local police to train on. They don't want to know that part. Wyatt says, because people are so lazy to go vote in their community. Anonymous says, blacks, we got to get it together. They dividing us. Ain't nobody dividing y'all. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, if they elect that liberal female mayor, kiss it all goodbye. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's already there. Bro. And it's only going to be, again, like a 12% voter turnout rate anyway. So it's already going to happen. That's happening, bro. Look at Bruce. Bruce Jones says, nope, ADA ain't got that kind of money. Why ain't nobody counting their own money? Why ain't nobody counting their own money? Count your own money. How much money do you got? How much money you got? Huh? How much money do you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? You got money? You got some money that you want to throw into a development? If I called you and said, what kind of partnership do you got? You got some money you want to talk about? Huh? You got some money? What about you? You got some money? Huh? You got some money? What about you? You got some money? Huh? You got some money? What are you talking about? Now I got to pick all of this junk up. What are you talking about? Like what? Anton ain't got that kind of money. Oh my God. What do I want to do next? Maybe I'll save this one. I'll save this one for after hours. But let's go into ChatGPT. Let's talk about ChatGPT a little bit. All right. Last thing on the docket. Let's just spend 10 minutes on that. Oh my God. ChatGPT. They came out with ChatGPT5. Let's go into it, y'all.
Welcome into CBS News 24/7. OpenAI launches
GPT-5. It's the latest generation of the artificial intelligence technology that powers ChatGPT. OpenAI says the new model is faster and smarter than ever before. It comes more than 2 years after the release of its predecessor, and expectations are high. So I want to bring in Jacob Ward, technology journalist, host of the Rip Current podcast. Thanks for being here. Also, the author of The Loop, How Technology is Creating a World Without Choices and How to Fight Back. Okay, first things first, we're talking about this release, okay, of ChatGPT 5.
Right.
How is this different?
Well, it is faster, but it's much more than just fast.
Okay.
It is, in the past, you basically had to choose which flavor of the technology you want to use for a coding task or to write a piece of poetry or to make you an image. In this case, all of those options go away, and the one that's available for everybody right now is GPT-5, and it's going to do everything in theory. It is supposed to be able to do all these different tasks, and when you ask it to do it, it will make its own decisions about what kinds of tools and techniques it should bring to it. You'll watch it think in a new way. It is imposing what's called a reasoning model on the process, where in the past it was really just predicting what words are coming next or what pixels should come next. Now it's thinking things through in a deeper way. That's what they say.
With opinions?
It definitely has some opinions, right? And it also, in theory, will hallucinate less often, make mistakes less often, they say, and it will also negotiate with you. If you ask it how to make explosives, it will actually say, why do you really want that? It'll negotiate with you about what's going to be a more dangerous use of it.
So basically, all right, so if you was to go into previous versions of ChatGPT or even Gemini or any other AI model, they were trending toward this in the first place, but now they basically trying to simplify it. So the simplification of it is that it should be smart enough now to where it could determine exactly how thorough or what pathway you want to take. So I'll give you an example, right? Let's say, for example, that I'm just trying to find out some information on something, and I say, well, what year did Magic Johnson get AIDS? All right. And I wouldn't have to type anything on that. But it's much different if I was to say, hey, create if I was to put in there and I would say, hey, I'm a project manager and I need to manage different swim lanes or whatever, so on and so forth. And so this is what it is that I need to put together. It's not just going to spit out information, right? You would actually have to say, hey, I want to create a Canvas model, or I want to use Canvas to create a report that then spits this out so that I can either create a Visio document. Sorry about that. Oh man, I wasn't even plugged up. That's why. That's not good. Sorry about that. It wasn't even plugged up, so my camera holder died. But basically, what that would allow for me to do is I would have to differentiate exactly what I wanted to use. So I could use Canvas, I could use deep research, I could use I could have it code, right? And so basically I would have to designate what level of technology I wanted to use in order for it to spit out the right information. Now, with these newer models, and I'm sure that Gemini is following right in its footsteps, yeah, you would have to be very specific. So I'll give you an example. Let me go into Gemini real quick. And I don't usually go into this on these channels, but like I'm using Gemini Ultra. And let's say I go down there. So if I was to ask Gemini something, and I would have to either generate a VO3 video. So a lot of times when y'all go on TikTok or you go on Instagram and you see people saying stuff like, hey, they create these videos and it's all based off of prompt engineering. And I got a video inside of the Patreon that deep dives way more into this. So y'all should go and join the Patreon and watch it. Or you can use Deep Think, or you can use Deep Research, or you can use Canvas to spit out basically HTML code and all of that. Now, in an ideal version of ChatGPT 5 and then the future version of Gemini, what you're basically seeing is people being able to tell it what prompt, basically use the prompt, and then it'll figure it out on its own in order for you to have, or in order for you not to have to select what you want it to do. And it thinks, and it's alive now, and it reasons with you. And so for some people, I think that this is going to be much more of an effective tool when it comes to being productive. But for other people, especially people that look at ChatGPT as their daddy, especially people that use ChatGPT as a companion, because it's a lot of people that do that, and a lot of people that actually become an interdependent on it in order to be able to do the things that they're doing on a regular basis. I think that it's going to bring you more into the AI world. It's going to be more real, and you're not going to be able to detach from it anymore. Listen. One of the biggest things that I think that people need to start doing, if you are going to create a business around something AI related, one of the things that y'all also have to take into consideration is that you need to start figuring out how you can help people with AI addiction. It's going to be a booming business. If I had the capacity, you know me, I got 1,000 ideas. AI addiction is going to be a real thing. People hiring people to counsel their children, getting their spouse. Ain't nothing like getting a woman to send you to counseling. Hey, babe, we need to do counseling because I want you to detach, and this is going to help us save our marriage because you've become so evolved with AI. Bro, AI addiction and solving for the addiction and stuff like that is going to be a real thing. Watch. We're going to come back to 2025, and I'm going to say, listen, y'all, remember when I was in that hotel room inside of Miami, and I was telling y'all about AI addiction and how people were going to have whole videos and whole ecosystems around solving for the problems of AI and all of this stuff? It is going to be a real thing. It's going to be a real thing. Yep, I've been a practicing therapist when it comes to AI addiction and its reasoning models, and I'm an expert on it. And so these are my credentials, and this is why I'm the person that's best suited to get you out there. So let's try a detachment exercise. All right. So I'm going to take your device away, and we're going to reset your device all the way back to before Apple Intelligence. Okay. No, I don't want to. I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be so many different industries that pop up around it.
That's good.
A higher level of reasoning is what they're offering.
All right. Well, let's talk about the money. Okay. So the AI industry pouring billions into data centers and chips they need to run these models. Investors clearly want to know when they're going to see their return. So is this kind of all of a way to kind of an effort to show what they are paying for?
Absolutely. I mean, just to put it in perspective, the expenditures on data centers and chips right now supposedly account for more of the GDP than what you and I spend.
So a lot of landowners are acquiring land in order to lease out to a lot of these companies that ultimately built these data centers that need cooling and need space. And so they're leasing it out, and a lot of people are getting rich as that. Data centers are the new oil fields. Where's my button where I can go ding? Data centers, owning the land that they're building data centers on and leasing it out to Meta, Apple, OpenAI, Microsoft, Alphabet. Data centers are the new oil fields. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Consumers are spending. It is estimated that $3 trillion could be spent by the end of 2028 on this stuff. And so those investors, of course, are going to want their money back. We just saw a couple days ago, Anthropic, a rival to this company, released their version of this. This is, of course, something that Sam Altman and OpenAI have been basically hyping for about a year. They really want to show, look, we're making gains with this stuff. You have to consider, right, that they're going to raise about $40 billion this year. That's what they're on track to do. They're probably only going to make about $20 billion back. So they want to show this is worth it, you guys. You should bet on us because the future is going to pay off in a really amazing way.
All right. So let's kind of hold back a little bit.
Right.
So you've written about your worries that we're giving too much of ourselves into this technology. This new model really invites users to bring their lives into ChatGPT, integrating the Gmail, calendars, contacts. All right. So what is your reaction to all of that?
I mean, you know, in the announcement today, they brought up an employee and his wife. It wasn't clear to me what her connection was to it, but she has cancer and was describing in the course of this, you know, very slick production, how she's using GPT to basically decode her test results as she fights cancer, fights for her life. And so what they literally seem to be saying here is you should be relying on this thing for life and death decisions. There was another part of the presentation where they said you'll be able to let it rummage through your Gmail and your calendar in the future, that they're really saying you should take your life and give it over to this thing. This is a whole new world. We don't know if that's okay. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that will be helpful. But this is absolutely uncharted territory. And the fact that they want you to have as much faith in their product as their
Yeah, it's a race of integration. That's really what it's all going to be. It's all about a race of integration. And so they're racing to have people. All right, let me tell y'all what the race of integration is. And maybe I can use a real example to illustrate this better for you guys. Do you know how difficult it is to get somebody that is an Android user to switch over to iPhone and vice versa, to get somebody that's an iPhone user to switch over to Android? Do you know why that is? It's not because of the devices. The devices is what we use as justification for why we're not going to switch. Has nothing to do with the devices. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say some of the very exact same glass cameras, they're used abroad between both devices, and the only thing that divides them is the software and the technology that they're using in order to program the cameras. Sony sells cameras to both Samsung and Apple. Samsung makes glass for Apple, while Apple is trying to make their own. It has nothing to do with the phone themselves. See how they got y'all? It's the ecosystem, Sabrina. Absolutely. It is the ecosystem. It's the fact that your life is now integrated into it, whether it be your calendars, the insurance, whether it be the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, the integration between your phone and your laptop and your devices and all of this stuff. It's the ecosystem. The ecosystem. The difficulty in you being able to detach and move all of your photos and your videos that's in the iCloud over into an Android device, or even the point to where you're sending a green bubble or a blue bubble, has programmed you to think ecosystem. It's the ecosystem. See, Team Android, Team iPhone. It's all dumb, but it's the ecosystem. Even me, I'm integrated into the Apple ecosystem. From the laptops that I use and stream on to the MacBook Pros and the iPad Pros that I use in order to do certain things that I take notes on, right? To all of the iPhones that I have, it's the ecosystem. It makes it easier for me to integrate and work. And so that is the thing that then got people loyal to a particular brand, not the brand itself, it's the ecosystem. And what you're now starting to see is brands fighting for you to be integrated into the ecosystem, because guess what? People that are using, Google and Alphabet's Gemini, they become integrated into the ecosystem in the same way that people that are using OpenAI is becoming integrated into the ecosystem, because the ecosystem itself learns you. And the more information that you feed it, because you type and stuff and you're talking to it every day, hey, what is my life like? Y'all talking to it, y'all got whole boyfriends as AI. Well, guess what? You don't want to switch over because you've now become loyal to the ecosystem itself. And so now, with it integrating your calendar and your Gmail and all of this other stuff into it, it is now making you a loyal customer for life. It is making you a loyal customer for life. And so the race is not just for the development of the AI itself. The race is for the people to become loyal to the ecosystem that then governs their life. And it's going to be 10 times worse than choosing between iPhone and Android. The ecosystem itself is going to be so integrated into the things that you do that you're going to become interdependent on it, not using it in order to enhance what it is that you're already working on. Onaka says OpenAI is learning me for sure. I know. Bro, listen. I am so in tune and hip and knowing everything that's going on with all of this stuff. When I talk to y'all, I'm talking to y'all about real life in addition to whatever it is that they're telling y'all. When I talk to y'all, I'm telling y'all about real life instead of just telling you what it is that you think you want to hear about the information. There are some companies that could never and would never break away from Microsoft as a part of the ecosystem for which they use to govern their employees. From Outlook, making sure that Outlook is available for every single employee, all the way up into the AI that they're using, to the emails, to what they used to have, Cortana and all of that stuff. Some companies are so integrated into the ecosystem, they couldn't break away if they wanted to. It's the same thing that's about to be in your life. You are the CEO of your life, and now you are basically choosing your ecosystem subconsciously without even knowing it, and they giving you what it is that you need. The race is to make you a customer for life. The race is not whether or not they want to improve AI and its models. The race is to make sure that you are so integrated into the company itself and it making it so useful that you wouldn't leave it if you wanted to. I know people that call me that is so integrated into OpenAI. Sometimes it's some stuff that it can't do that Gemini can do, and some stuff that Gemini can do that OpenAI can't do, right? And so they'll call me and they'll say, Anton, I just sent you an email. And I say, what did you send me an email about? Okay, I sent you an email about a prompt that I wrote. This is what our conversations are like, right? This is what happens in my real life. I sent you an email about a prompt that I wrote that I put in OpenAI, or that I put in a ChatGPT, right? Because OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT. I put in the email a prompt that I wrote for ChatGPT, and it didn't really give me the thing that I wanted. It gave me the information, but it didn't spit it out in this type of document, and it didn't format it. Can you put it in Gemini and see what it is that it's going to spit out on your end? Yeah, sure. So I put it in Gemini, and then we start working through it. Jump on a Zoom call. Okay, so all right, can you export that into this and that, or is it something that it can prompt out and then say, could you send that back to me in my email? This is the conversations that we having now, because I'm still a tech nerd at the end of the day, right? That's what I went to college for. That's what it is that's what I did for a living, and so this is what I even do in my regular life. But they're so integrated in the Chat GBT that they would just rather me, instead of using an alternative in order to see what it is, they'd rather me put it into the AI that I use the most in order to go back and forth. So, yeah, man, I pay attention to everything. My brain works a little bit differently. I know I look at everything from a UX UI perspective, so it's different. So, somebody said, do they pay you to do that? No, they don't pay me to do it, because this is, it's like, these are my friends and stuff. My friends are smart as fuck, bro. I'm the dumbest one in my friend group. I'm just probably one of the richest. I'm the C student in my friend group. I'm the C student in my own friend group, bro. Most of my friends are smarter than me, bro. They're smarter than me. They can do things better than me. I don't know why I'm the person that wins, but yeah, man. This is that's what my life is like. Like, I know y'all think that all we do is talk about dick and pussy when we get off of here, but we don't. We actually enjoy life. We do stuff, we have good times, and life is good, bro. So everything is good. Thank you, Chris Monroe. I appreciate you. UX is user experience, UI is user interfaces. Correct. That is correct. That is correct. You are absolutely correct. So Ellen says you can probably do things better than them as well. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Here's the thing, Ellen. If you ask them, I'm the smartest one in the group. You a genius. You can figure it out. You did it. But if you ask me, they're the smartest ones in the group. If you ask them, they will tell you, you a genius, right? Or whatever, so on and so. Man, you downplay yourself so much. But if you ask me, I'm like, man, y'all downplay yourself so much. Y'all some fucking geniuses in this room. So that's just the way we are. That's just pretty much the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the way we rock. All right. Let me read the rest of these super chats. I'm going to get y'all up out of there. And let me double check something else real quick just to make sure that we all on the same page. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I said I love you too. Thanks for the path. Thanks for the path, my friend. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. I seem very, very intelligent to me. No, you sound. Hey, put my glasses on. You know, sometimes you start giving me too many compliments, Alan. I'm gonna start thinking you like me. Alan. I'm gonna call you Al. I'm gonna call you Al. All right. Not because you're a loser, because I like you. Not because you're a loser, because I like you. Al, you give me too many compliments, I'm gonna start thinking you like me. And if you compliment me one more time, then you know we go together, Al. Al, if you give me one more compliment, then you know we go together, right? Oh, you winking at me? Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. If you compliment me one more time, you know we go together. So you better be careful. You can tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. You know we go together. You better stop typing. Don't hit me with no all G's, nothing. That's how it starts. First it's all G's, then we having conversations in the studio. Show me this. What you do? Oh, is this the couch that you and Charleston interview on? Yeah, sit down. Make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. Let me make you a drink. I'm going to buy you a drink. Next thing you know, they want to see the couch that you interviewed everybody on. Woo! I'm focused, Messi. I'll just be getting distracted. I get distracted. I start getting distracted and it just go left from there. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that, Messi. Don't worry about that. You know? Anyways, let me continue on with the show. Let me get y'all up out of there. Jay Thomas says, hey, Anton, how do you think motivational dad-centered content for TikTok will do? Or should I center it around toxic relationship and men coming out of it safely? Just found your debate against the male feminist. I think that is a horrible idea, both of them. You want me to tell you the truth or you want me to tell you a lie? Motivational dad-centered content is going to be a very, 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 very bad idea, my friend. Don't do it. Come up with a better idea. Toxic relationship and men coming out of it safely is another bad idea. You need to come up with something else. Come up with something more unique. Come up with something more personal to your life. Come up with something more personal to your life. Nope. Nobody wants to hear about motivational dad content. It's a horrible idea. We want to see your cars. I want to see your toxic lifestyle. I want to see when you get kicked out the house. I want to see your clothes thrown on the streets. And I want to see how you're going to get yourself together. That's what I want to see. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Mr. Lot says 20 ways to break up your chat bot. Yep, break up with your chat bot by Mr. Y'all need to start writing that book immediately. Matter of fact, I'm about to drop a book. I'm going to write it within a month. Mr. Lot just gave me the idea, 20 ways to break up with the chat bot by Mr. Lot. We're going to change that. 20 ways to break up with, no, you got to make it 10 chapters. 10 ways to break up with something by Mr. Lot and Mr. Daniels. That sounds like a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Lot. Let's get this money. AWOL says, I'm shocked Detroit voted to have Reverend Auntie on the ballot. You can't let her win, big dog. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't get involved with talking openly about Detroit politics. I just make my moves. DJ Complex says they're going to add AI addiction disorder to the DSM. Mr. Joe says for the collection plate. Thank you, Mr. Joe. I appreciate you. Carrington Love Jr. says been laying up with a floozy all morning. Mr. Show came to pay my tithes and offerings. You're not a floozy. You got you laying up with you a floozy. Silver Lion says new YouTube channel, Anton's Casting Couch. Oh, no. No. I'm not going to let y'all get me in trouble. I'm not going. Oh, shit. We go together. We go together now. You know just the right things to say. You know the right things to say. Hey, listen, send me a message on Instagram and we're going to figure that out. Send me a message on Instagram and we're going to figure that out. Let me see what you got. Yeah, okay. Got the right forehead for it and everything. We're going to figure that out. You send me a message on Instagram because we go together now. All right? All right. You start talking about tattooing my name on you. That kind of fucking turned me on. Anyways, somebody said 80 is a trap. No, but sometimes you got to get caught. Oh, my God. I fell on the bed and I'm naked. Let me make sure y'all tap in the after hours tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.